difference for yourself. TimberTech, everything wood should be.
When it comes to health, we're all on our own journey. Our challenges aren't always visible to those around us. You may be living with aches and pains, fatigue, shortness of breath, or other symptoms that make it difficult to manage everyday life. These problems can be the result of a variety of conditions, including long COVID, which 1 in 5 adults who've had COVID-19 may develop, according to the CDC. When symptoms linger, they could lead to feelings of isolation, but you don't have to go through it alone. For challenges like these, physical therapy is the solution. Physical therapists are the licensed healthcare providers moving you to better health. They can improve your quality of life through hands-on care, patient education, and prescribed movement. No matter where you are on your health journey, your physical therapist and physical therapist assistant can help. When we work together, we feel better together. So choose more movement. Choose better health. Choose physical therapy. Visit ChoosePT.com to find a physical therapist near you or ask your primary care provider for a referral. This message is provided by the American Physical Therapy Association.
Parenting is hard. Technology can make it harder. The family media plan developed by the American Academy of Pediatrics helps make it easier. Go to healthychildren.org/media plan today to create the media plan that's right for your family.
When news breaks, don't wait. WRAL News Plus goes with you everywhere. Weather, traffic, and breaking news, live and local, all day, every day. Listen on 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and throughout the Triangle on 101.5 FM HD3. At home, in the car, at work, or on the go. Stay connected to the Triangle's most trusted newsroom anytime, anywhere. WRAL News Plus. Coverage you can count on.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Studio, WCMC HD1 Holly Springs, 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Temperatures this afternoon hovering right around 70 degrees under mostly cloudy skies with a few sprinkles. 53 degrees tonight with an increasing chance for light rain as we get closer to the morning hours. Saturday, we'll see showers on and off. We'll see lighter rain from the Triangle north and west. We can see a quarter of an inch or less, but slightly higher amounts south and east. It'll be chilly and gray with a high of just 58 degrees.
3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 89 points to 49,563. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Case evaluations are always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers.
Nice play here by Hall. Stankoven with a chance. He scores! Logan Stankoven! Out in front for Stankoven. He scores! Another one! He kept on here. Going across the score! Oh, red hot Logan Stankoven! Miller shot off the sideboard. He scores! Logan Stankoven! 4 games, 4 goals, and on the power play, the Canes have taken a 2-1 lead here in Ottawa.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox producing the show. We know when game 1 is. We did it. We waited patiently, and I actually think they rewarded us because they're not making us wait till next week. They're not making us wait even till Sunday. Tomorrow, 8 p.m., Lenovo Center, Canes, Flyers. Round 2, game 1. I have a feeling we'll talk about that a little bit today. It's a Friday. Congratulations, everybody. Happy Friday. You made it. I'm proud of you. So without further ado, here on The Drive, we start off the show with the Big 3 at 3.
Number 1.
Big 3 at 3 is presented by Maynard Service Company. Heating, cooling, plumbing, electric, whatever you need in your house fixed. Maynard Service Company, MAYNOR Services.com. So here's how it goes, everybody. Tomorrow at 8. Tomorrow at 8. And by the way, tomorrow at 8 when the game starts, it'll be a week for the Carolina Hurricanes. It'll be 3 days for the Flyers. That's a difference, right? The good news, and I will pass along the news from practice earlier today, is Nikolai Ehlers was on the ice, and Alexander Nikishin did not have a no-contact jersey on. He was in a regular sweater. Those two are massively important. So the story of the long break is, it appears, right? We're not 100% sure, but it appears like it's given them enough time to get as close to healthy as you can expect going into the second round of the playoffs. And for something like Alexander Nikishin going into concussion protocol, oftentimes, a week is about as good as you can hope for somebody to be out of a non-contact sweater, and he's done so. So that right there gives you some things to be happy about. If you want something else to be happy about, it's Jacob Slavin's birthday today. Happy birthday, Jacob Slavin.
Let's go.
32 years young is the penalty kill extraordinaire from round 1 for the Carolina Hurricanes. It seems like the Canes just had a lot of birthdays recently. It's got to be that Outliers thing if you've ever read the book Outliers. You're born at this time, you end up just being a better hockey player. It's explained in the book better than I just did. But happy birthday to Jacob Slavin. Happy birthday to Jacob Slavin. Carolina Hurricanes are the only conference finals team from last year to make it to the second round of the postseason this year. Depending on what happens in the Vegas series, right? Because Vegas is ahead of Utah 3-2, but we've seen crazier things happen. If Utah somehow pulls off the comeback and eliminates Vegas, then the Canes will be the only team in the second round from last year that's back in the second round this year. Obviously, if Vegas advances, it'll be one on each side of the bracket. But the reason I bring it up is that experience advantage has to mean something. And I'm not saying every team that's still playing is like, an infant when it comes to postseason play. But at least as of recent, you will have been the team that's been there, done that. That experience has to matter. Has to matter. And the odds might show it. As of a couple hours ago when I last checked, the Canes were plus 105 to win the East. If you're wondering, the Flyers were plus 800. That's a significant difference between two teams sitting at 0-0 going into the second round. And the Canes should operate as if it's even, but quite frankly it's not. The Canes are the better team. Say it, right? Don't run from it. If anything other than the Canes winning this series happens, it'll be a severe disappointment because it appears they're much better than the Philadelphia Flyers in just about every statistical evaluation, including the odds. But again, in case you missed it, they announced it basically in the middle of the night. Canes, Game 1, Round 2, playoffs, hosting the Flyers at the Lenovo Center tomorrow at 8 p.m. And, of course, if you can't be at the game, you can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan.
By the way, it's the only place you can hear Mike and Tripp?
Correct. So if you want the local broadcast, the guys you're used to, right here, 99.9 The Fan, or the 99.9 The Fan app on your phone if you download it. So if you're somewhere watching, you want to mute it, put those guys the volume up, you can do so on your app. That is number 1. Let's get to number 2.
Number 2.
So with Dallas being eliminated last night, the Dallas Stars, which, by the way, also means Mikko Rantanen was eliminated. I like saying it that way. There it is. I have some real scribble trade litigating to do here, so we're going to go check it all out. I believe – by the way, with Dallas, I need to explain why I started this. With Dallas being eliminated, it is now official that in the Keandre Miller trade to where he came to the Canes from the Rangers, the pick going in the Rangers' direction will be the Dallas first-round pick this year. Okay? And that kind of puts a little bit of a bow on the massive trade bonanza that took place last year at the deadline and into the offseason with the Keandre Miller trade. And I think I have the complete in and out for the Canes. Are you ready for this? Taylor Hall, Logan Stankoven, Keandre Miller, a 2026 third, a 2027 third, and a 2028 first is what came into the Canes. Those three players, Hall, Stankoven, Miller, and then 2 thirds in the next 2 drafts, one each, and a 2028 first. And on the way out, in totality, when you combine the Natchez to Colorado for Rantanen deal, the Rantanen to Dallas deal, and then the pick from that to the Keandre Miller, you combine them all. On the way out for the Canes was Martin Natchez, Jack Drury, Scott Morrow, the defensive prospect, a second-round pick this past year, a third-round pick this past year, a fourth-round pick this past year, all in the 2025 draft, and a 2026 second. I think it's good business. It's active. There's a lot of things that had to happen to get there. It's active, but I think that's good business, and especially if you look at the fact that Taylor Hall and Logan Stankoven are making up 2/3 of what has been your best line this postseason. That's worth it. You mix in the picks, throw in Keandre Miller, who had one of the prettier setup plays of the first round with the old hesitation, decoy, no-look pass, and got the goal there. So obviously Natchez had a year. Jury is jury. Morrow didn't really do much. Bunch of picks. But that's what it is. You got to give up something to get something. I thought they got more than they gave. And they still have picks coming. I mean, 2028 first. This trade could go on forever. Really could.
And Lord knows what that could become.
One of my favorite trades, the Dwight Howard leaving Orlando Magic trade, like 2 years ago, the final pick was made because they kept trading a first for a future first for a future first for a future first. It just lived forever until I think it was 2 years ago they finally got the final say in that. The Drive of Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That was number 2. Let's get to number 3.
Number 3.
The transfer portal keeps turning, and it keeps turning, and it keeps turning, and it keeps turning. And actually, as it stands right now, there are some local guys right at the top of best available. There are, by the way, a couple schools locally that are still probably interested in who's the best available. Right now in the transfer portal, according to 247 Sports, men's basketball, Juke Harris, who's transferring out of Wake Forest and rumored to be pretty darn close to a Tennessee commitment but hasn't done it as of yet, is the 4th best transfer on the market. Paul McNeil Jr., NC State departing transfer, who State still believes, at least their fans still believe, they have a chance at bringing back to Raleigh. 5th best transfer on the market. The 12th best transfer on the market is a player who was at NC State, Dennis Parker Jr., went to Radford, had some real big games this year, and now he's back on the market looking for his next location. They're all still in the transfer market. So there's still, it's actually pretty impressive how much still has to fall as far as dominoes in the portal. And obviously some of them never will. That's the scare if you're a player and you go in the portal, is that you're left after the musical chairs without a place to go. But everyone I just mentioned will definitely have a place. The part that I found more interesting, because a team like NC State, I believe, still needs to go out there and find big men in the transfer portal. Not a lot of size. There is number 18 in the portal is Austin Moorer. He is a 7-foot, 235-pound center from Seattle, and that means like the University of Seattle, the Redhawks. I don't know a lot about him. I know he's 7 foot. Everyone above him on the list, so the top 17 guys, are 6'9" or shorter. The big men have been picked clean in the transfer portal. And there's probably a lesson there for future portal usage. Once you get in the portal and the chaos is going on, I always imagine it like the stock trading market in a stock trading movie where everyone's just like, buy, sell, sell, sell. There's people running around. They all have like the little visors on. Their suits are disheveled. The first thing you should go buy is the size. Go get the big guys. There'll be really good guards available, and there are really good guards still available, more than a handful of them in the portal, but the big men pickings are getting slim. Especially if you want one that's, not he plays bigger than his size, 6'8". If you want like a true 6'11", 7-footer, there's not a lot of those guys available remaining. I don't even know how this makes sense, but because I was scrolling. This is just a quick little how and what is going on story. James Nagy is the 35th best player in the portal, according to 247. He has a 7-footer. He's leaving Baylor. This is the guy that couldn't get eligible this year. He's the one that signed the NBA contract. Somehow, not only is he in the portal, but he's like a middle-of-the-road portal prospect. And I don't think he's going to be eligible. It's crazy. Portal makes no sense. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That is number 3 of the Big 3 at 3, presented by Maynard Service Company. But let's be real. There were big 3 stories to start the show today. For the most part, there's a big 1 story today, and it's getting ready for the Canes' second-round opener against the Flyers tomorrow. We'll continue doing that right after this.
All right, Coach, what is the financial fill-up?
Well, on our national radio show, which, by the way, we've been doing for 22 years, we've talked about something called the financial fill-up. And there's the sounder. You remember when you're little, maybe you don't, some people do. I remember being in the backseat of Mom's station wagon, and she'd go to get some gas. She'd pull in, and she'd hear... And then the guys would come running out. They'd check the oil, clean the windshield, and fill the car up with gas.
Yay!
Oh, for 49 cents a gallon. Back in Wisconsin in 1974, right before the embargo and all that stuff that happened. Anyway, it's all about making sure that we have enough income. And that's why we started talking about a financial fill-up, because it has to be something that we can understand. And when you get to retirement, you understand the fact that your bank account magically fills back up every year. That's a financial fill-up. So if you'd like your own financial fill-up strategy, call now at no cost or obligation. My team will design one custom fit for you.
919-794-7900. 919-794-7900. Or text Amanda to 600-700.
Amanda Daughtry is a paid spokesperson. Investment advisory services offered by Capital Financial Advisory Group, a North Carolina registered investment advisor.
Harry Douglas here. Let me ask you something. What if you can enjoy the taste of a cocktail, the warmth of a spirit, and still stay fully in control? That's RK Zero Proof, a pioneer in the alcohol-free spirits category. RK delivers bold flavor and a real warming sensation with zero alcohol, zero sugar, zero carbs, and 0 calories. Perfect for nights out, social gatherings, or anytime you want the experience of a drink without sacrificing tomorrow. Check it out at rkbeverages.com. That's ARKAY beverages.com. RK. All the flavor, none of the alcohol.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Carolina skates it out. A huge block now. Sent out in front. They score! Taylor Hall!
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Canes, Flyers, Game 1, tomorrow, 8 o'clock. We still don't know Game 2.
No, we don't. We do not know Game 2.
As far as time, when it'll be played. We know where it'll be played. It's Lenovo Center. We know who's going to be playing Canes, Flyers, but that's all we got for you. The NHL likes to leave us wanting more.
A lot of it will be determined tonight, based on results tonight.
Which, I mean, it does make sense.
Mm-hmm.
They're already going to be starting this one significantly earlier than some of the other second-round series across the league. You don't want to get too far ahead. At least, I hope they don't want to get too far ahead. Canes just dealt with a one-week break. You'd be opening yourself to potentially a much longer break if you keep up a fast pace and the rest of the league doesn't keep up with you as far as how quickly you move through the postseason. We talked about the experience earlier. We talked about the nature of what the Canes are dealing with. It's starting to feel more and more and more artificially, almost fake, like a if not now, when type of play postseason run for the Canes. If not now, when do you get over the hump and win the East? Now, the irony of it, or the facade of it all, is if not now, when? The answer to when might be next year. Like their window is still wide open for years moving forward. They have money under the cap moving forward. They have really good long-term deals locked in. They have an opportunity to get better this offseason. So, the feeling that I'm getting of if they don't pull it off now, if they don't do it this year, when will they, is really not the right way to think. But, you can't control your emotions. They feel what they want to feel. When you look around and you're like, you're playing Philly in the second round. Remember when everybody wanted to play Philly in the first round and they felt gypped because you drew Ottawa, who was seen as this much tougher team? Well, you got Philly in the second round. Wouldn't you rather? And all of the teams that have been studs over the last, calendar year, they're really not around. You're the only team in the East that was even in the second round that is still in the second round. You're the only conference finals team from last year that's still alive in the second round. If not now, when? Now, I guess what I'm saying is not that it couldn't be next year, but just saying championship windows are what they are, but you have to be opportunistic when things are presented to you, right? When, I don't know, another team that maybe you've struggled with has some injuries and isn't a viable contender this year, take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. When you have some guys that are on a heater at the right time of year, take advantage of it. When you have maybe a transitional year happening at some franchises that have been good year in and year out for a long time, take advantage of it. Not saying you can't win next year or the year after the year after. I think you're set up for long-term success. But this year's as good as any of those too. I have a feeling, and then this is really just an assumption, that tomorrow when the graphics are put together that get passed around social media for who's picking which team, it's going to be overwhelmingly Canes. Partially because a lot of people feel real stupid for having picked Ottawa against the Canes, and they're going to overcorrect in a big way. And be like, Canes are going to win, goal differential 105 to overcorrect. But I think there's a lot of logic to they should win this one. And looking forward, I don't know if anyone has a better chance in the league to really achieve the big and lofty goals, especially not in the East, than the Carolina Hurricanes. Let's hear some audio from the people that are going to try to make it happen. Starting with Shane Gostisbehere, who was asked the question that is on everybody's mind. Was the long break good or bad?
Gift and a curse, I'd say. Sometimes rust. I don't know. Just either way, if we play good, people like it was the rest. If we play bad, be like it was the rest. So, it goes both ways.
And that's the right answer. It's not as fun for sports radio, right? We need a hard commitment to an opinion on either side of the spectrum, but that's the right answer. I guess maybe a more interesting question might be the one we're going to play for you next. Okay, could be good, could be bad, a little bit of both. Well, how did you manage the extra time off in order to get ready and turn it more into a good than a bad? Here's Shane Gostisbehere.
Roddy gives us our hard days when we need them, and even when we're not on the ice, we're in here, doing the video and working out and whatnot. So I think I feel well rested and ready to go.
Again, I'm going to go blue in the face saying it. Veteran teams should have an advantage here. Team that's been to the postseason a bunch the last decade should have an advantage here. Rod Brindamore should have an advantage here. Giving them the hard days at practice when they need it, he should have a better feel for when they need it than a coach that doesn't make it to the postseason that often. Flying by the seat of his pants. What about Andrei Svechnikov? Andrei Svechnikov spoke to the media today. I believe Dennis grabbed this audio. Let's look at how he can affect the game in a positive way, maybe outside of the stat sheet. This is what Svech had to say.
You got to do something out there, when you cannot score. But I think I got in the first game 8 hits in the first period or something like that. Yeah. So you got to do some impact, and I think that's what I've been doing.
I said this throughout the first round, and I'm going to continue to say it. Even if he doesn't score, I love a Svech game with 6 shots. You just make the goalie work. Make the blue line think, right? Be the threat. That's Svech's role in my eyes.
I think it was 18 shots in the 4 games against Ottawa. 18 shots on goal, I believe.
If I'm not mistaken, it was 13 in the first 2.
Yeah.
And as much as you would have loved to, and I would have loved to, and I've said I would have loved to, have seen him score a couple of those, I do think that's weirdly a tone-setting move from Svech to come out in the first couple games of a series, just letting it fly. And I think that's one way he can impact the game. And maybe, just maybe, this is how I would frame it in my mind. I wouldn't tell anybody, but it is how I would frame it in my mind if I were Svech. He was the one loosening the jar, so then the Stankoven line went out there and, right, oh, look at that. It was so easy. It's like, yeah, I loosened it with all the shots I took. Even if it's not true, that's how I would frame it. Jackson Blake is on that Stankoven line that did have so much of the production. Here's Jackson Blake on being well-rested, right? That's the advantage of the long break. On being well-rested heading into game 1 of round 2.
It was good, yeah, more than a few, right? That was a while, but no, it was good, get rested. It was kind of nice, honestly, to just take a breather a little bit. I mean, you're in the fight for a week and a half, 2 weeks every round, so it's nice to get a little breather. But no, excited to get back going tomorrow.
You feel restless waiting around this long? Come on, let's just play.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, like, you're going to be like, all right, when's it going to happen, right? And, I mean, we knew it wasn't going to be right away, obviously, because we ended up sweeping Ottawa. So, but no, I mean, it definitely gets to like that. Like, you're watching the games last night, like, what's going to happen? Are we going to play tomorrow? Are we going to play Saturday? Are we going to play whatever, you know? So, no, it was good.
Can I be an old guy for a minute or two here?
Sure.
You're 22 years old, Jackson Blake. You need a rest? Do you know how you rest when you're 22? You go play more hockey. Oh, I got a day off. Sweet. I'm going to play pickup. That's what you do when you're 22 years old. If Jordan Stahl wanted to say, like, yeah, it's kind of nice, get a little refresher. It was a week and a half, 2 weeks of being in it, then, yeah, all right, that makes sense. He's, darn near 40. If Martin Hook wants to say it, cool. If Freddie Anderson wants to say it, I'm with it. Jackson Blake. 22, you don't even know what tired is. I'm only kidding because that line, actually, let's talk about that line quickly. I don't want to take away from any of their skill, okay? Stankoven, Blake, Hall, their chemistry, their hockey IQ, their skill, it's been really, really impressive. But do you know what is a skill that line has? And I call it a skill. Effort, relentlessness. If they're on the ice for a 45-second shift, they are moving for 45 seconds. It's I think probably the most underrated part about that line right now, because everything else is getting all of the hype and the highlight goals. Jackson Blake doing the old whirly bird, even on a goal that he didn't, or a shot that didn't turn into a goal. The stick handling, the skating ability, Logan Stankoven with all the snipes, like all of that is getting the hype. I don't know if everybody is talking enough about how just exhausting it must be to play against that line. Their forechecking, their constant pressure. It's the engine, the boring engine of all the highlights that line has been producing. So, I jokingly say, Jackson Blake, what are you tired for? You're 22 years old. He could just turn on the tape and be like, that's why I'm tired. Because even though I'm 22 years old, I'm moving constantly, right? I'm 22. And there's 32-year-olds don't get to play like this unless you're Taylor Hall, because he's one of us, moving with us. It's part of being a Cane, but it is a big part of that line's success, and I wanted to highlight that quickly. And they hopefully can keep it up for the entirety of a very long postseason run. 4 wins down, 12 to go. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here for Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Fellas and ladies out there, actually, Mother's Day is coming up, right? You want to plan ahead. Maybe like a long break between series, right? At the beginning of it, you feel like, oh, I got so much time. And then, boom, game day. Oh, Mother's Day? Oh, when is that? Oh, I got time. And then, boom, it's Mother's Day. You better be prepared. Bailey's Fine Jewelry wants to help you use that time to not only get prepared, but to win points. You know what I'm talking about. Up to 60% off select fine jewelry right now at Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Incredible deals on bracelets, necklaces, rings. And maybe the best part is, if you guys are like me, I don't know a lot about jewelry. I have vague ideas of things I remember my wife or my mom saying about jewelry. I can walk into Bailey's Fine Jewelry and just give them whatever I know. They decode it and bring me to the area. Okay, yep, this is what she meant. Brings me over to that case. Bailey's Fine Jewelry, their expert staff is just waiting to help you with their biggest sale of the year. and the only opportunity to get a Bailey box at a discount. So, Bailey's Fine Jewelry, Village District location in Raleigh. While you're there, mosey on through the Fox and Bailey Watch Shop. That's more for you. But buy Mom something deserving this year. Bailey's Fine Jewelry. Let them know you heard about it from me, Tim, right here on 99.9 The Fan. Up next, we have the Dean's List. Don't go anywhere.
This is the story of the one. As a maintenance tech at a university, he knows ordering from multiple suppliers takes time away from keeping their arena up and running. That's why he counts on Grainger to get everything he needs, from lighting and HVAC parts to plumbing supplies, all in one place. And with fast, dependable delivery, he's stocked and ready for the next tip-off. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a lawyer, but getting some guy who just watches courtroom dramas.
How does the defendant plead?
Guilty. Wait, what? Also, objection.
You object to what?
Erroneous.
Counsel, approach the bench.
Hey, can I get a whack at the gavel?
You wouldn't settle for just any lawyer, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
TST is coming back.
The world's biggest 7v7 soccer festival is coming back to Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, May 27th through June 1st. Watch stars like Landon Donovan, Hope Solo, and Chad Ochocinco compete for $3 million. With over 150 matches, the fan festival zone, and nonstop action, there's nothing else like it. Get tickets now for the world's most electrifying soccer festival at TST7v7.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We've been talking a lot about playoff hockey. But I do have to say, sometimes you just got to be in the building, see it, feel it for yourself. And we're trying to send one of you. We will be sending one of you and one of you's friends to Game 2. We don't know when Game 2 will be, but we're going to send one of you out there with a pair of tickets. Right now, for the next half hour, this keyword is live. Text the keyword CHECK, CHECK, to 919-860-5326. Just the keyword CHECK. You don't send anything else. And it is a text, by the way, not a call, not an email. Text. Text the keyword CHECK, CHECK, to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of Carolina Hurricanes Round 2, Game 2 playoff tickets. The winner will be selected and notified on Monday, May 4th. So text the keyword CHECK. Right now, you have 29 minutes. I've just wasted one of your minutes talking. 29 minutes to text in CHECK. It expires at 4 o'clock. We'll give you a new keyword next hour. CHECK. Again, one more time, the number, 919-860-5326. Do it right now. Or anytime that's safe if you have to pull over and things in the next half hour. It expires at 4. Thank you, and good luck. Now here on The Drive, it is time for the Dean's List. Dean's List, where we pay a little extra praise. We give a little extra hype to those that deserve it in the college sports world that we hold so near and dear here in the Triangle. I'll get started with this one. University of North Carolina head men's basketball coach Michael Malone.
Okay.
because the Nuggets were eliminated in the first round of the NBA playoffs last night.
Okay.
Which would be their worst performance in the postseason, going back to before their championship that Michael Malone was the coach for. And then Nikola Jokic, right, his superstar big man, Nikola Jokic in the post-game presser, I would say didn't mince words, right? He was disappointed, right? We just lost in the first round. And then he hit this quote: "If we were in Serbia, we'd all get fired." It's not great for the way things are going with the Nuggets, right? And Michael Malone likely sitting around going, interesting. Maybe they needed the coach that was able to pull all the right strings, push all the right buttons, and get him to the NBA championship victory circle. Instead, I believe he was out in Europe somewhere recruiting. So just kind of a mental win, kind of winning one over your bitter ex of some kind. But Michael Malone makes the dean's list for the fact that his former employer did not glow up after he left. I'm not saying he didn't want like his friends and guys he coached and developed and cares about to win, but there is a part of every athlete. When you leave a team, you don't want them to get better. Same with coaches. When you leave a team, you don't want them to win like the next 2 championships. So there. More Dean's List. I'm putting Caleb Wilson on the Dean's List, speaking of Carolina. Former Carolina basketball player.
Former Arizona Wildcat.
Caleb Wilson, not Caleb.
Oh, Caleb Wilson. My apologies. I thought you said Caleb
Did Caleb Love do something?
I don't know.
Okay. Caleb Wilson. Maybe I said Love. Who knows? I was thinking Wilson. He was in attendance for the Rockets-Lakers game last night.
Okay.
He was on stage. I believe it was a Zach Bryan concert in Charlotte the other week.
Sounds right.
You know what? If you're going pro, live the life, man. Enjoy it. You're a celebrity. When people offer those free tickets, as long as you're getting your workouts in the first part of the day, go ahead and enjoy. He was at the rec center at Carolina playing basketball against all of the general population, and just dunking on people. He's kind of just, living the life of a 19-year-old, soon-to-be multi-millionaire top draft pick. It just looks like he's having a good time, so he's on the Dean's List. That's the goal of this whole thing, right? Have some fun, have a good time, make some money, win some championships. That's what you're trying to do. Dennis, do you have some Dean's Listers you'd like to throw out here?
I do have a couple. One first local here, right here in the Triangle. Shout out to Dean's List, Reese Walker. She plays lacrosse at Meredith College. I actually recruited her.
There you go.
She actually set the all-time record for assists in Division III history for her career.
The entirety of Division III?
The entirety of Division III. All of Division III assists for her career. Previous mark was 276. I think she's up to 283 now.
Congratulations.
Yes. She's actually from Fayetteville. She went to Terry Sanford High School. So also on the Dean's List, I'm going to throw out there Davidson College women's lacrosse. They beat Richmond today 11-10 in the A-10 semifinals. Richmond was the number one seed in the A-10. Davidson women's lacrosse going to the A-10 championship game for the first time ever.
Shout out Davidson.
Shout out to the Wildcats. So my fiance went.
There you go. So do you get to say we? Does that work?
Yeah, I do.
You married into, or you're marrying into it?
Absolutely. I have Davidson gear.
All right.
The only college outside of Meredith, because I coach there, but the only school in the state of North Carolina I have actual apparel. It's Davidson.
There's some other cool schools with cool logos and stuff.
There really are.
You should check it out.
I know. Trust me. I've seen a lot of them. Davidson's the only one I have.
All right. Last one for you from my side of things. The high school class of 2004.
For what sport?
Any sport.
Oh, okay. That was my high school class, so let's go on.
I thought so.
Go on.
Calais Campbell signed a 1-year contract with the Ravens.
He did.
He's from the high school class of 2004.
Let's go.
And I kind of have a rule. You can't be anything other than young if there's a defensive end from your high school class still playing in the NFL. We see kickers, quarterbacks, right? You can get by as kind of like the old man Brady, old man Rodgers, Morton Anderson, Vinatieri. They can play forever. If you have a defensive end, that's a young man's position. So as long as you got one, class of 2004, you're not anything but the young people hanging out. Calais Campbell, we don't give him enough credit. People are talking about LeBron, how old he is and how good he is, and people gave all the credit in the world to the Tom Brady's of the world. I'm telling you, I don't know if either of those are as impressive as what Calais Campbell is doing, being a defensive end and kicking inside sometimes, the physicality of the sport and still going. Class of 2004. Football in the trenches. I should have. This would have been a good one to go find the rest of the like top recruits in the high school class of 2004. Would have been a real good guys naming dudes. But I mean, I can tell you, like, as far as players that he played against in the ACC, just because I remember or played with, he's a University of Miami guy. Brandon Merriweather was one of his teammates.
Yeah.
Remember that guy? Remember how long ago that guy played? Chris Long would have been going up against him in UVA.
That's right.
These guys have been retired for a while and had long careers. So, shout out to Calais Campbell, playing for the Ravens.
By the way, I'm looking over here. Like, in the course of his career, I think he's only missed 11 games.
Really?
In the course of his career.
That's even more impressive.
Now, a couple of those also could have been like, hey, we're going to rest a guy because it's about to enter the postseason type deal. Like when he played for Baltimore the first time, could have done that for a game or two. But he's played in every game in each of the last 3 seasons. He's played in every game. Last time he missed a game was 2022.
Goodness.
He missed 2.
I just brought up his recruiting class. Do you know who was the number 1 player in the class of 2004? Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Ted Ginn Jr. for my Carolina
That's right.
Panther fans out there. They're early Doucette.
Yeah, Chris Long. Yeah, Chris Long was in that class. That was my high school class.
This is just a good guys naming dudes. Chad Henne. It's a long time ago. Calvin Johnson. He's still playing. Marshawn Lynch. Wow.
If you look up the 0-star guys, you'll find my name.
Hey. Can I sort by 0 stars?
Yeah, right.
Just tell me how. I'll do it.
Just everyone that played high school football.
Well, this is a side conversation, but Tyrese Halliburton was on some podcast, and the interviewer said, like, you were just a 3-star when you went to Iowa State. Did that put a chip on your shoulder? He was like, no, 3-star would have been awesome. People don't know this. Once you get to college, if you go play for some power conference, they retroactively go back and give you 3 stars. He's like, I was a 0-star. That's the chip on the shoulder that I carry. So if sometimes you see a guy that comes out of nowhere and you look back and the recruiting services are like, oh, he's a 3-star. No, they were not. They just go like, once you're on campus at a power conference, they assume you must have been something, at least in basketball. He was pretty mad about it. He's like, I am a 0-star and I am proud. All right. That is the Dean's List here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. I could have, and I probably will during this next commercial break, just continue scrolling in that recruiting class and going, oh, yeah, that guy. Oh, yeah. Matt Tuiasosopo. Remember him?
But by the way, a buddy of mine that I played football with in that same class, he ended up being a preferred walk-on at Virginia for football, ended up transferring after 2 seasons and played baseball at James Madison, was a starting outfielder out there. But he was the 23rd or 24th highest-rated safety according to ESPN.
Nice.
Didn't play safety.
Oh, well.
He was a running back.
This was the internet was young here.
It was.
They didn't know as much.
Yeah, we were at school, like, you say, wait a second, I'm the 24th ranked safety? He goes, I don't play safety.
Are you ready for this? I just found the winner here.
Oh.
So Calais Campbell just signed a 1-year deal with the Ravens to continue playing as a defensive lineman in the NFL. He shares a recruiting class with Notre Dame head football coach Marcus Freeman. He was ranked about 60 spots.
Wow.
He was ranked about 60 spots below the inside linebacker Marcus Freeman that committed to Ohio State, which is the same as the Notre Dame head football coach. And Calais Campbell still playing defensive line. Insane. Now, when we come back, a few recruiting classes before that was probably Dan Morgan, and we have some audio from him, the GM of the Carolina Panthers, who also played at Miami. But before we get to any of that, Dennis Cox has something he likes to tell you.
I do. Dennis Cox here real quick for my friends over at Law Tigers. I know the weather's kind of dicey and stuff this weekend, so make sure you stay safe when you're out there on the roads. But I want to make sure that everyone out there, as a motorcycle rider, honestly, I take the same approach as a motorcycle rider as I do to sports. Sometimes it's good to get back to the basics. Sometimes it's nice for you as a motorcycle rider, just go to an empty parking lot, practice on different basic things like counter steering and just getting a feel for the weight of your motorcycle again, because you never know when you're going to be in a situation where you're going to have to elude a car or elude something that runs out into the middle of the road, or someone just randomly brake checks you. You got to be able to swerve quickly. So make sure that your basics and your fundamentals are sharp. That way you can still be safe as best as you can out there on the road. Now, accidents can happen, and this is where Law Tigers comes in. If you're injured in a motorcycle accident, call Law Tigers at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS even before you contact the insurance company. Case evaluations with Law Tigers are always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. And Law Tigers attorneys, they are built for the motorcycle riding community because Law Tigers attorneys are part of the motorcycle riding community. That's why you got to contact them even before you contact the insurance company. So give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, or visit lawtigers.com. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, will be back with some audio from Dan Morgan after this.
Saturday, May 2nd. Don't miss the North Carolina Courage taking on the reigning NWSL Shield champs, Kansas City Current. This high-demand match is selling fast. Upgrade to a premium experience. With limited inventory, secure your seats now at ticket.ntcourage.com or call 919-459-8144.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and nearly 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. Left untreated, these veins can cause tired, heavy legs, swelling, burning, cramping, aching, even restless leg syndrome. In some cases, it can lead to serious health risks like blood clots. USA Vein Clinics offers minimally invasive treatments that take as little as 15 minutes, covered by most insurances. Call 984-207-6220 and schedule your appointment today. Don't wait. Call 984-207-6220 for free information today. Imagine walking, exercising, and sleeping peacefully again. Varicose and spider veins won't go away on their own. USA Vein Clinics can help. Call 984-207-6220 for fast, easy, and affordable solutions. USA Vein Clinics treatments are covered by most insurance plans. Don't put this off any longer. Call 984-207-6220.
Drew Brees here. Whether you're on the field or on the road, having the right team on your side makes all the difference. I learned that the hard way. On the field, you don't go anywhere without a solid O-line. And when your car breaks down, you want that same kind of protection. That's why I trust CarShield. Their protection plans help you tackle expensive repairs so that you're not blindsided.
Visit carshield.com now and join the team that's helped millions of drivers save. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. All right, I'm looking out for you all out there. You have 15 minutes to text the keyword check, C-H-E-C-K, to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of Carolina Hurricanes Round 2, Game 2 playoff tickets. So it's 2 tickets to the second game of Round 2. Winner will be selected and notified on Monday, but if you can't win if you don't play. So text in check by the top of the hour. You have until 4 o'clock. Text check to 919-860-5326, and you will have 2 more chances to gain entries today. And then that's it. You get 1 in this hour with check. You'll get a new keyword in the 4 o'clock hour. You get a new keyword in the 5 o'clock hour, and then it's it. Then we'll make our selections on Monday, and one of you will get a pair of tickets to Game 2. So if you want to maximize your chances, you got 14 minutes, if you haven't done so already, to text check. That's the keyword, C-H-E-C-K, to 919-860-5326. Now, we have some audio from Dan Morgan. Dan Morgan, Panthers GM. This is from Panthers Playbook, I believe. Yep. So check out the podcast everywhere you can find your podcast, including our 99.9 The Fan YouTube channel. Dan Morgan, the Panthers GM, was asked what his pitch was to David Tepper to become GM, right? Because he was in the front office, wasn't the GM. They were looking for one. He got the promotion. Here's his pitch.
First off, I just asked Mr. Tepper just for an opportunity, to interview for the job and let me lay out what, how I would change things, how I would do things. And, I think first and foremost, the thing that I wanted to help implement the most and change the most along with Coach Canales is the culture around here. And I felt like I had those leadership qualities to come in here and identify what needs to be changed, what processes need to be better. And I kind of, I already had an inside look at the building. So I kind of had an advantage in my interviews to where I knew the building, I knew what we were missing. I had my thoughts on how we would fix it. And, it's just about going and implementing those processes and the leadership and just, identifying, what we needed to be better and, just implementing all that.
So that the culture stuff, it's always like every GM is going to talk about that. But I read an article that was breaking down all the drafts, and it was some insider stuff. An anonymous GM said this, an anonymous GM said that. It was on The Athletic. But it was about all 32 drafts. And something stood out to me about what they said about the Panthers. It was they equated it to what Dan Campbell did when he took over the Lions and said, you have to draft to what you're trying to be, right? And one of the things that I would impress me if I were David Tepper, so let's pretend I have about $40 billion more than I do, and I own an NFL team, and I'm hiring a GM. When Dan Morgan walks in and he begins talking about the game of football, there's an identity there. There's a very obvious, this is what our teams will look like. Right? You joke and we joke about it because it's funny and we had the dog scale and everything. But when he's like, we want dogs, right? We want to build from the trenches. It makes it easier if that makes any sense. It makes it easier when you have a blueprint for the type of person you're looking for, because I saw this is a Twitter analyst, so it's nothing real. But I saw a list today that was my highest ranked, and I forget who it was, just some random on Twitter. My highest ranked 300 prospects that have yet to receive a camp invite or undrafted free agent deal. And I went, 300? You ranked 300 people that weren't drafted, have not gotten an undrafted free agent, and haven't been invited to a mini camp yet? But that goes to show you how many prospects these teams have to sort through. Right? Because, sure, those 300, and there are more than that, those 300 likely will never get a chance in the NFL, but the NFL teams have to look and make sure, you know what I mean? You have to make sure you're not missing a diamond in the rough. It's like if you ever hired for a job that's super desirable or an entry-level job in an industry that's super desirable, and you just get thousands of resumes, the first thing you need to do is just eliminate a bunch of them, and kind of quickly. And it's not necessarily fair, but you might just say, everybody doesn't have a college degree. Boom, you get to eliminate a couple hundred because you need to chop them away. What Dan Morgan very obviously has is something he is looking for that can eliminate a ton. I said this about the Zakee Wheatley pick. The reason why before the draft I predicted that the Panthers would draft Zakee Wheatley, the safety from Penn State, and they did. They eventually did in the fifth round, is because I thought they needed a really good coverage safety, and that is his strength. But in every scouting report I could find, it said he was a willing tackler, and he's not afraid to come up and fill a gap. He might not be the best at it, but he's willing. And I went, okay, so it's somebody that fills a need, but also like Dan Morgan can sleep at night knowing he picked a guy that's got a little dog in him. Even if it's not his strength, he's going to try, he's going to sell out, he's going to put his body on the line. And if you can just eliminate all finesse players, that chops down like half the pool, and it makes it easier for you to hone in on the players that are going to fit. So similar to Dan Campbell, right? With all the we're going to bite a kneecap, we're going to fall down and come back up, all those speeches, yeah, they were goofy, but they immediately gave the Lions an identity, and now they're, perennially one of the better teams in the league. Carolina's trying to get there. Let's hear more from Dan Morgan. How about the biggest thing that he felt needed to change from when he took over, which is now they're going into his third year as the head guy in charge of the front office. Here's Dan Morgan.
The culture around here, it wasn't a winning culture. Like I think people were thinking that we may win, or, I just didn't feel a lot of confidence around the building. And I think obviously you have to have the players first and foremost, but I think it's just about how you go about your day-to-day, the work and the grind that it takes to be great. And, that's my biggest thing when I took over is like, we got to earn everything. We got to come in here every day. We got to roll our sleeves up and we got to go to work. And as long as I'm the GM here, we're never going to be content. We're always going to try to find ways to get the roster better. Even now after the draft, we're still trying to find ways to make the roster better. So the work never stops, and it won't as long as I'm the GM here.
People forget, and I'm not saying they do it intentionally, but they forget. Dan Morgan was on the 2000 Miami Hurricanes. I mean, I know the 2001 Miami Hurricanes are the one that everybody references with all the first-round picks. They didn't just get on the Miami Hurricanes for 2001. He was right there in one of the swaggiest locker rooms of all time. Santana Moss and Andre Johnson and Ken Dorsey, Clinton Portis, that whole group, he was one of those dudes. Ed Reed, he was one of those dudes on the defense, and he was a first-round pick. So when he comes in and he's saying, like, people didn't know we were going to win. Think about what his background was, right? He knows what it feels like when a locker room puts in all the work, does, all the competition that they need to do in practice, and then swag out a little bit on knowing how good they are. So that's where it's like, I think they thought they were going to win. That's what he's saying. That's not the locker room Dan Morgan likes to be in. That's not the locker room he likes to be in. Reggie Wayne, Jeremy Shockey, all of those guys, he was out there as a leader. He was the MVP of that 2000 team. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, and you hope Carolina gets back to that swaggy level. Right? The Cam Newton swaggy level. They always had the Steve Smith Sr. swaggy level. They always had some guys. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's a little audio from Dan Morgan. He also said in there, just to be clear, because I think it's important, you also need the players. That's a really important part as well. And we'll talk a little bit about the players in Football at 4 coming up next.
It's bow time. There's something special about the first bite of a Bojangles Cajun Filet biscuit. Like an edible alarm clock that slaps you awake with bold Cajun flavor. The moment you sink your teeth into that soft, fluffy, made-from-scratch biscuit, then strike gold with a juicy piece of fried chicken, you'll know. Nothing beats the first bite. Except the second first bite. Get a Cajun Filet biscuit combo today at Bojangles. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Time to satisfy your craving for Cajun with a Bojangles Cajun Filet biscuit. Enjoy a Cajun fried filet tucked inside a hot made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit. Make it a combo and add your choice of fixin' and legendary sweet tea. And remember, Bojangles Cajun Filet biscuits are served all day, every day. Bojangles Cajun Filet biscuit. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
To 15-year-old Harper, buying an $80 vintage rock t-shirt is a great investment. To Harper's mom, this logic has a few holes in it. So she helped Harper open a Wells Fargo Clear Access banking account. With no overdraft fees and tools to track spending, Harper's learning, one heavy metal tee at a time. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Terms apply. Visit wellsfargo.com/deposit disclosures for fees and details.
It's not Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday. The very first Tuesday.
New scratch-off tickets are available on the first Tuesday of every month.
Announcer said first Tuesday.
Brand new scratch-offs, brand new fun. Now from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Every first Tuesday. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Workers' comp can be tricky, but my law firm will be on top of all the complicated paperwork and sneaky deadlines so that all of your I's are dotted and T's are crossed. If you've been hurt on the job, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Mostly cloudy skies for this afternoon. A few sprinkles in spots with a high near 70 degrees. Overnight tonight in the low 50s. We'll see mainly cloudy skies and a chance of some light showers by sunrise tomorrow. It is going to be chilly and fairly wet. 58 for the high. We'll see rain showers on and off at least through mid to late afternoon, but it may be fairly light from the Triangle area north and west.
4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 120 points to 49,531.
Let's move the chains. Time for football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4. By the way, in case you missed the news over the last, 18 hours, the Carolina Hurricanes Game 2 against the Flyers. Sorry, Game 1 of Round 2. Did I say that right?
Wait, what?
Game 1, Round 2 against the Flyers in their postseason run will be tomorrow at 8. Tomorrow, 8 p.m. puck drop. You can hear it here on 99.9 The Fan. If you can't make it out to the game, it will be at the Lenovo Center. If you are going out to the game, get there early, tailgate, enjoy it. Dennis, I believe we talked with Kat Campbell off air.
Yes.
Meteorologist WRAL. She said light showers, bring a tent.
So this is directly from Kat Campbell. All right. She said, because it's an 8 o'clock puck drop, the rain should begin to taper off around tailgate time. Again, I think the lots open up about 5 o'clock. But rain should taper off around tailgate time. It'll still be damp, cloudy, and chilly, though, so still recommend on bringing the tailgate tent and also a hoodie as well, because the highs tomorrow are only supposed to be like upper 50s, like 58, 57, somewhere around that. And then obviously when you leave the game, it's going to be chilly as well.
But inside, it'll be red hot.
Yeah.
Carolina Hurricanes, Flyers, tomorrow, 8 p.m. is the nuts and bolts of it at the Lenovo Center, right here on 99.9 The Fan if you can't make it to the game. And, by the way, the only way to listen to Mike Maniscalco and Chip Tracy is on 99.9 The Fan or on our app, available in the Google Play or App Store. Now let's talk football at 4. So yesterday, during Cons and Cons, my concern was that the offense didn't add much. The offense was not good last year. They were 27th in scoring. And while they did add first-round pick offensive linemen, but that's replacing an injured first-round pick offensive lineman. They did add a John Mechie, kind of a depth wide receiver who's buddies with Bryce. They did add a third-round pick wide receiver. It pales in comparison to what they added on defense or what some other offenses added for their young quarterbacks. So my concern was that. And the overwhelming response from which, by the way, we did address on air, but the overwhelming response from people on social media were acting like I was absolutely insane for not assuming that the offense will be better simply because every player on the offense will get better from last year. Right? The defense had to add players. The offense didn't have to because Bryce is going to level up and Tedero McMillan's going to level up and the offensive line is going to remain healthy for the entire year. And Jalen Coker is ready to be healthy for the entire year and level up. And Jonathan Brooks is going to be healthy for the entire year and level up. And Chuba Hubbard's going to be healthy for the entire year and be the same steady workhorse that he is when he's fully healthy. And Xavier Legette's finally not going to have the pressure on him, so he's going to play better as a wide receiver 3 or 4. And on and it was just all of this assumption of individual players playing better, which I'll agree is possible and is the most logical way to assume. If you assume that the offense is getting better and then you reverse engineer how it happened, the most logical way to explain it would be a bunch of players just played much better. They improved. This offseason was one of learning. This offseason was one of connecting dots and having things click. So if you told me next year the Panthers offense is, I'm not asking for the moon and the stars, is the 15th best scoring offense in the NFL. They were 27th this past year. Their defense was about the 15th best scoring defense. If the offense can at least match what the defense did last year, and they are the 15th best scoring offense in the NFL, I think there's going to have to be some true, wow, that guy had a breakout. Right? There's going to have to be some true, just individual players that lived in the weight room, lived in the film room, got together with the rest of his position group and worked out a ton in the offseason, and they came in with all of the cliches being true. Best shape of his life, right? A renewed commitment, all of those things. So I decided to put together a list of the best candidates on the offense for individual improvement for the Carolina Panthers. Right? If everyone out there that told me I was crazy for the not thinking that the offense is just going to improve by way of osmosis, if you're all right and the offense is going to improve in a big way, who are the guys that need to do it the most? I have a list of 3, and I actually have them, what I believe is in a list in order of importance. Should I go 3, 2, 1, or should I go 1, 2, 3, starting with the most important?
Let's go 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Number 3, and this one, I don't know, might be a little bit of a loophole. Robert Hunt.
Okay.
Simple availability here.
Sure.
Played 126 regular season snaps last year. This is $20 million. This is a big chunk of change. He needs to be, and he was in the years and games that he's been healthy, he needs to be, and it's weird to talk about this like an offensive lineman, he needs to be the go-to play. He needs to be your 7-iron. Whoever's your running back, and I say 7-iron because of tin cup, right? When you're not playing well, every golfer has the one club they go to that they think they hit well no matter what. It's like your get-right club. If the offense is stagnant, if the offense isn't having fun, you need to be able to go, hey, Rob, we're running straight up your back. Or we're pulling you and we're running Chuba right behind you. Like, that's what it has to be when you're giving a guard that much money. Now, health isn't always his fault, right? Like, freak injuries happen, fluke injuries happen. But if he's out there, that's a way that the offense can be much better this year than last year. So if Robert Hunt can stay available and play as well as he was playing earlier in his career pre-injury, I think that's number 3. Number 2, speaking of exactly what I just said, I was hoping they wouldn't be as dependent on this guy, but Jonathan Brooks. They didn't draft a running back. I thought they were. I thought they were going to draft a running back. They did not, which means as far as running backs that were healthy on the team last year that'll be back this year, it's Chuba Hubbard and it's Trevor Etienne. Or Etienne, excuse me. Got to get used to pronouncing that last name correct. They lost Rico Dowdle. And whether you want to say he was just like a flash in the pan or not, he had 3 pretty gigantic games and 3 wins for the Panthers, and they only had 8 of them. And he had some other games where he may not have been unbelievable, but he was pretty solid, and they lost that production. So Jonathan Brooks went from what I considered at the beginning of the offseason, you treat him as like something like you don't even know if it works, right? You found something. All right, let's see. If it works, great. If not, I have, all these other ways that I can fix it. And they treated the offseason, it appears, as if they're like, no, actually, we think he's going to be able to not only play, but contribute. He's not going to be the bell cow. I still think that's going to be Chuba. But he has to be at least a change of pace back. And if he can snap off some bigger runs, some longer runs, I think that changes the dynamic of their offense. So Jonathan Brooks, getting healthy, staying available, playing something like the second-round pick you thought he could be when you drafted him, that's a way to hugely level up. And number 1, Tetairoa McMillan. And part of the reason being is I don't think he was near his best last year. and he had 1,000 yards and caught some touchdowns and caught some a game winner and did all of this. I think he had some bad habits. Some of that going for one-handed catches stuff that I think he could have got 2 on. I think he became much more comfortable in the offense as it went along as far as the routes they were expecting him to run. And we've learned recently that he was like just shedding weight throughout the year and was having a really hard time putting it on. So he went from, 215, whatever he was at the beginning of the year, down to 205, maybe a little below that, and he couldn't get it going. So hopefully this offseason there was a lot of work with trainers and nutritionists and everything, and if he can keep on that weight and be as physically dominant as he was at the beginning of the year while being as savvy and route running and everything as he was at the end of the year, that's where I think you can logically put a connect. And then just the cliche of, right, the biggest jump is from freshman to sophomore year, right? The biggest jump is from the first to second year. You now know what you're getting yourself into. And also this is going to sound crazy, you're not as tired your second year. Did anybody see Robert Saleh, the head coach of the Titans? His press conference, I think it was earlier today, may have been yesterday. I saw it today. He's not having any of his draft picks do almost any on-field running or training during rookie minicamps, because he's like, I don't think the people recognize how hard these guys work getting ready for the draft. Right? You go straight from the end of your season to preparing for an all-star game. You go straight from preparing for the all-star game to preparing for the combine. You go straight from preparing for the combine to crisscrossing the country for top 30 visits, workouts for teams, and interviews. And then you go straight to the draft, and then you go straight to mini camps. There's clips right now of young players from across the league out on the practice field getting their workouts in, and he's going, I don't want my rookies, my draft picks that exhausted going into their rookie year, which I'm not saying you have to do that, but it is just to acknowledge that this offseason was the first break for Tetairoa McMillan since before his final year of college. So being a little bit less fatigued, I think, matters. And then on top of that, I just think his ceiling is astronomically high. So, asking him to get to like 70% of his ceiling, which is what would be a level up from what I think he did this past year, I just think it's more realistic than asking other guys to get to 103% of their ceiling, which, to dramatically improve an offense, I think some of these other guys would have to go to way above. I can hear what everybody's saying. How is Bryce Young not on that list? I think it's a bit unfair to ask Bryce to level up a bunch. I think it's a bit unfair.
How so?
Quarterbacks rarely make massive jumps year to year 3 years into their career, unless massive changes around them, right? Unless you're changing teams, or you have a significant amount of improvement to your supporting cast, unless there's these big dramatic changes. What's more realistic, I think, is like slow, steady, gradual improvement year over year and patience from the team. So I'm not asking him not to improve, but if you expect him to be the reason why the team goes from 27th best scoring to 15th best scoring, it just doesn't really happen. Not saying it never has. I'm sure there's outliers throughout history, but I know they're changing play callers, so it's not completely the same, but it's the same system, right? It's the same verbiage. It's the same, for the most part, players around him. It's incremental improvement from Bryce is what you're looking for. So he's not on the list, not because I'm like letting him off the hook, but because it's just very, very rare to happen there. Meanwhile, like a wide receiver taking a gigantic leap going into year 2, that does happen. Like that's happened a bunch in the past. A running back who's injury prone, quote unquote, finally having the year where he stays healthy and putting it all together, that happens a good amount. That's why I put it there. What do you think, Dennis? Robert Hunt 3, Jonathan Brooks 2, Tetairoa McMillan 1.
I'm going to throw another name out there. I want to get your thoughts on this one.
Let me hear it.
Because when we were talking about this before the show, the name that popped into my head was Jalen Coker. Because here's the thing, Jalen Coker, for me, it's a little bit like you said with Robert Hunt, availability, because remember, he missed the first part of the season with the quad injury, but we saw how strong he was at the end of the year last year. If you just look at the last 5 regular season games, not even factoring in the amazing game they had in the playoff game where he had the 9 catches, 134 yards, and the touchdown against the Rams, but if you look at the last 5 games.
Out.
What's that?
Heck of a game to throw out.
Heck of a game to throw out. But again, looking at the regular season, if you look at the last 5 games that he had, where he had 19 catches, 244 yards, had 3 touchdowns, you expand that over the course of a 17-game season, you're looking at basically 65 catches, 830 yards, and like 10 touchdowns. If they can get a number 2 receiver that has that level of production on a consistent basis opposite of Terrell McMillan, you'll see McMillan's numbers jump too. They need to have him as like a true number 2 receiver over the course of the year.
I mean, we're both big Jalen Coker fans.
Love Jalen. Good dude, too.
I'm not sure if the volume will be there to support 2 kind of high-volume wide receivers. I still think this team wants to build through the run. And if Terrell McMillan has the season that I think he can, I just don't know if there's enough passing to go around. Because you still
don't think he can get 80 targets on the season over 17 games?
60-something catches on 80 targets would be, I believe, unfair to ask of him. I get that it's small sample size extrapolated out, but that is an extremely high catch rate for a guy that is really good contested catch. His catches are not easy a lot of the times. You're not getting him all the now screens and everything. And also, you need to take care of the tight ends. You need to take care of the backs out of the backfield, the play action. You need to. They just drafted Brazel. I think some of the deep down the field stuff might go his way if he quickly shows that he's capable. Listen, I think Jalen Coker can be great, and that playoff game, best version of him, right? And has done a lot of really good things. I still think the offense has to go through the run first, Terrell McMillan second, and then Coker maybe tied with other position groups, like the tight ends and Coker similar treated as a unit of tight ends, and Coker as a wide receiver too. So it's not his fault that I didn't have him on the list, because he was definitely in consideration, and he'd probably be if I made this list like 5 or 6. I just don't know if he'll have the opportunity to show how much better he is or isn't.
Well, if you look at I'll expand that. If you go to the last 8 games of the season, so again, like literally a half a year, you're looking at 76 targets, about 61 catches, 750 yards, 10 touchdowns. I mean, I don't see why he can't.
He had
still
10
get
touchdowns.
I mean, again, if you take his averages over the last 8 games of the season,
I got you.
In terms of targets, receptions, and all that.
I forget that.
I mean, you're looking at 77 targets, 62 catches, 750 yards, 10 touchdowns.
He's very, very good. I want to be clear. I'm not knocking him. I don't know if he will catch that amount if you give him a ton of targets in meaningful games.
I mean, also as well, you're taking away probably a lot of. I mean, honestly, the person that's going to get less targets is Xavier Leggett. The guy that's going to get his targets is going to be Brazel. So I don't see why as a number 2 receiver he's not going to get 80 targets this season.
He could.
Yeah.
I said if he gets 80 targets, I don't know if he catches 62 of them. He had a very, very, very efficient year last year.
Yeah.
It is very, very difficult to expand out statistics and just go at this rate of small volume, he'll do it at big volume. That's the concern I have. If you give him 80 targets, I don't know if he'll be as efficient as he was on less targets, because traditionally the more volume you get, the less efficiency you have.
In his career,
unless you're a true freak.
In his career, 89 targets, 65 catches, 872 yards. That's in his career. That's 22 games.
Again, very good player. If you condense, that's over 2 years?
Yeah.
He's going to be higher on especially if he's your true number 2 and he's out there every game, he's going to be more on the scouting report. It's very difficult to do. That's all I'm saying. I hope he does. I hope he does. And he's had some awesome catches, and his contested catch game is amongst my favorite things that the Panthers have. But it's just difficult to do year over year at that efficiency. I hope he does. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Tim Donnelly here from Maynard Service Company. Manor Service Company, heating, cooling, plumbing, electrical. They don't have to step up because they've always been at a high level. We don't have to talk about gigantic improvements for Manor Service Company because for decades and decades, their owner, Brett, all the way on down, has been making sure when they come into your house to work on something that you depend on as much as your plumbing or your electrical work, or if they're coming in when it's about to be hot or cold outside, because it could be either at this time of year, to work on your heating and cooling. Manor Service Company is just known for high quality. They are service you can trust. So give them a call, 919-361-0993. That's 919-361-0993, or visit them online at manorservices.com. It is very easy to remember, MAYNOR services.com. We'll take a break. When we come back, we have a cup check-in and more about Game 2, which is tomorrow between Game 1, Round 2. I want it to be Game 2, and I want the Canes to be up 1-0 already, but they got to take care of business tomorrow. So Game 1, Round 2 tomorrow, Canes Flyers. We'll talk about it coming up next.
Move your sports day forward.
The Carolina Panthers continue their evolution now 3 years into this front office, and there's promise. What started year one as a refresh turned into a rebuild, and with the latest draft, we see reinforcement. The fifth-year option on Bryce Young, now icing. It's a different mantra from the let's develop dogs mentality. Now it seems, let the dogs hunt.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
If you or anyone you care about is facing a family legal matter, call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL or visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on. Visit CordellCordell.com to schedule your consultation.
If you or anyone you care about is facing divorce, contact Cordell and Cordell today. With over 100,000 clients served, we understand the challenges you're facing on a personal level. Call Cordell and Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. That's 1-855-GET-LEGAL. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
Evan Cohen here. PayPal is now the official peer-to-peer payment sponsor of the NFL, which means all the money moments that fandom creates, whether splitting tailgate costs or chipping in on tickets and game day food between friends, are covered. Wherever the game is played or watched, PayPal moves with fans. You can send money through text, email, or directly to your friends with eligible accounts on Venmo. Just download the PayPal app, share all the moments that matter. Account with PayPal is required, not available in all regions where PayPal operates.
Lowe's has the brands pros trust to get the job done. You can now shop new Catalyst fencing solutions and save big when you do. 10% off when you buy in bulk. Plus, save $180 on a DeWalt 12-inch dual bevel sliding compound miter saw. Now just $449. Our best lineup is here at Lowe's. Valid through 5/6 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We're about to dive into the deep end of previewing Game 1, Round 2. Carolina Hurricanes, Philadelphia Flyers. Tomorrow, 8 p.m., Lenovo Center. You know what? I think I know why I keep mixing up. I keep saying Game 2 when I'm talking about Game 1.
Why is that?
It's because we're trying to give away tickets to Game 2. And it's just on my brain. So, there it is. I'm going to let you know how you can potentially win tickets to Game 2, Round 2, Canes Flyers. Text right now the keyword for the hour. So until 5 o'clock, this keyword will be live. The keyword, drive. D-R-I-V-E, drive. That's all you need. The keyword drive. Text it to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of tickets to Carolina Hurricanes Round 2, Game 2. Playoff tickets, that is. Winner will be selected and notified on Monday. But for right now, for the next 40-ish minutes, all you have to know is text DRIVE, D-R-I-V-E, to 919-860-5326. If you do that, you will gain this hour's chance at those playoff tickets. And this is your second to last chance to get an entry into this contest. The last one will come in the 5 o'clock hour. So drive by 5, text in drive by 5, and then pay attention in the 5 o'clock hour for the next keyword as well. I'll remind you at least once before the end of the hour, but hopefully you don't need it. Hopefully you've already done it. And also, speaking of getting ready for that game tomorrow, it is time for a Cup Check-In. 99.9 The Fan Cup Check-In is brought to you by Carolina Ale House. Make Carolina Ale House your destination for all Canes playoff games, especially when they're on the road. They have the whole viewing party situation going on, and it lets us be amongst like-minded fans, right? Go out to Carolina Ale House, enjoy the game amongst other Caniacs is what I'm getting at. Carolina Ale House is the official sponsor of the 99.9 The Fan Cup Check-In, and today's Cup Check-In is our very own Adam Gold checking in with Mike Rupp of the NHL Network. This is what it sounds like.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's the one thing I've never really questioned. I've had questions with Carolina over the years, and I made no secrets about that. It's I really like the team, their business-like approach. I mean, they're pretty predictable on what you're going to get from them, which is a great asset to have in this league. I've never considered them to be a soft team. Like, this is a team that, yeah, I mean, sure, they're not gonna probably drop the gloves like some of the other teams in the league, but I don't think you need to nowadays. As long as you've got each other's back and you have those right moments of showing solidarity and standing up for one another, and just like Stalzy did to start this series, like, is it necessary? Maybe not, but the fact is, I agree with you. I think it kind of backfired on Ottawa because you had a guy in your captain and Jordan Staal, who I played with Stalzy back at the beginning when he was in Pittsburgh, and he's strong as a horse. We know this. We see it all the time, but he doesn't fight a ton. That was like his 7th fight of his career, and you're going against a guy who this is kind of what he does. We've seen it at Four Nations. We see it all the time. He tries to spur on his group by doing it, and you're having someone that just goes out and is like, yeah, I got him. Don't worry about that. Let's just keep playing. So I don't think it's going to be a factor against this team. I think the only reason why I bring it up is if you get into that a little too much and you start taking needless penalties or get you off of your game, that's where it'll be a problem.
All right, when you talk about penalties, because that was for 4 games, Carolina was shorthanded 21 times. There was about 3 minutes combined in 4 different stretches of Ottawa 5-on-3. And in those 4 stretches, and again, roughly 3 minutes, there were 2 shot attempts, both on goal, but there were just 2 shot attempts and no 5-on-3 goals for Ottawa. Carolina's penalty kill, essentially, along with Freddie Anderson, won them the series. A lot of that is Jacob Slavin, but it's also Jordan Staal and Sebastian Aho. How does that become a weapon in the playoffs?
Oh, it becomes a weapon because we saw it in round 1. You're sitting there, the Ottawa Senators. I mean, a couple of those. I don't remember which game it was, but there was a 5-on-3 that was just, I mean, it was probably the worst 5-on-3 I've ever seen.
Yeah, game 3.
And I started watching it. I'm like, wow. So you can almost see the body language is just taking the wind out of the sails of the Ottawa Senators or anything they wanted to work towards. So, I mean, that's the one factor in the playoffs is if you have an elite penalty kill, I think every coach will tell you that's more important than having an elite power play. It's just you're going to know that you're going to get kills at the right time. That's a weapon that Carolina has. And, you're going against a team here in Philly where their power play is not good on a good day. Right. So they're one of the league's worst power plays. So the playoffs are a funny thing, though. You come in here, just all those things we're saying, a dominant PK versus a not so good power play. You're going to think, all right, well, Carolina's going to have their way. You let your guard down for a second. Yep. You never know; things can switch real quickly. But Carolina, they have their specialty players in those situations. Their up tempo style it creates problems for teams. And, heck, I know in the Metro Division here, doing some work with the Devils, whether it's the Devils, the Rangers, the Penguins, like the Carolina Hurricanes. They're hard. Like they can't adjust. Those teams struggle against Carolina. We'll see if Philly does the same.
Once again, that is the Cup Check-In. Carolina Ale House is the official sponsor of the 99.9 The Fan. Cup Check-In, make Carolina Ale House your destination for all Canes playoff games. And speaking of Canes playoff games, there's one tomorrow against the Flyers, 8 o'clock. You can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. You can catch it at Carolina Ale House and, of course, at the Lenovo Center where the game will be played. That's right, home ice for the Carolina Hurricanes. But for that game one, in every series, in every game within a series, there are key players, right? They're the players that the entire game could pivot on. We are going to predict them. Just 2 players each. Dennis is going to give his 2. I'm going to give my 2 on the most important players for the Carolina Hurricanes in Game 1 tomorrow night. We've done this throughout the playoffs, and I think we've done pretty well as far as identifying who – it's actually – I was going to say who did or didn't play well and impacted the game, but really, I mean, the Canes went 4-0 in the first round, so we were just predicting who was going to play well and be a driving force in the win. So let's do it again. Dennis, you can lead off. Give us the first of your 2 players that are the most important for the Canes tomorrow night.
I'm going to go Shane Gostisbehere as my first player, because as much as we've made about the first line not producing points in the first series, Shane Gostisbehere didn't produce any points either. It's actually the first time all season, whether it was Corey Laviolette, North State Journal, and The Athletic that I first saw this, is that he actually didn't go a 4-game stretch this entire season without putting up a point, at least one. So this is the first time that we've had that this year. So I think it's vital for Carolina when it comes to their power play that Shane Gostisbehere is at his best, and I think we will see a better Shane Gostisbehere in terms of point production. We'll see more production from him this series as well. But I'm going to say Shane Gostisbehere. That third pair needs to continue to be effective offensively.
It's a good one. And I've probably been brushing it off a little bit, his impact, because, throughout this break, 2 of the things that I think the Canes need to get going is their top-line production and their power play production. And usually when I'm talking about the power play, I say something like, it's a lot of the same guys, because it is a lot of the same guys, but Gostisbehere is a big part of that power play as well. And he has to find a way to, either he or help his buddies get to the back of the net on that power play.
I thought overall he played well as a whole against Ottawa, but the point production is something that you come to expect from him.
Yep. I mean, this year, it's kind of Canes-like. How I'm talking about, making it to the second round is just like, yeah, that's what they do. Gostisbehere, 0.9 points per game or whatever, 0.95, whatever it was all regular season. You've lulled us into a sense of expecting it from you. So congratulations on a great season. Now you got to back it up, and we're going to expect it. Mine, similarly, Logan Stankoven. If you're going to set the tone, right? If you're going to be the guy, be the guy. That first series was incredible from Logan Stankoven. From the guy scored 3 of the 4 first goals of the game. And I did see a stat where the Canes are actually the best in the league once they go down the first goal in the NHL this year. 33 times, I think it was, that they've not scored the first goal of the game. They've won like 17 of those 33. So they're
pretty good.
They're good when you don't set the tone. But if you do set the tone, I imagine they're incredible. And Logan Stankoven was taking care of that in the first round. And I think, playoff Logan Stankoven, there's no reason it can't continue. And if it does, that's gigantic for the Canes. So just keep doing what you're doing is kind of that kind of important spot. I don't need you to do anything else. I don't need you to try any harder. I just keep doing what you're doing, Logan, because whatever it's doing, it's working, and it's worked pretty much every time you've been in the postseason. Who's your second, not most important, it's number 2 of your most important players?
I'm going to go with Seth Jarvis as my number 2. I think honestly that as a whole, that top line played well. The point production just wasn't there at 5-on-5. But I think we're going to see him much more motivated in terms of getting on the score sheet from that top trio. But the way that Seth Jarvis impacts the game, even away from the puck, outside of the offensive end of the ice as well, the fact that he is able to block shots, kill penalties. I mean, he did create some good scoring chances as well, I thought, a couple times against Ottawa in the first round. But I think we're going to see much more of a better puck possession time from that first line. The way I think they'll be able to hold on to pucks better in the offensive zone, and Jarvis is going to be a big part of that.
I think it was after game 2, and I didn't then and I don't now have any insight, but it just looked like something was a little off with Jarvis. Maybe, you're wondering if he had a bruise in a place that was awkward or something, like just wondering. In game 4, it wasn't the entire game, but there were shifts where it was like, oh, Jarvis back. And I hope that a week, whatever, it could have just been a mental funk. Like, who knows, right? Things happen. But I hope the week off, in addition to getting hopefully Ehlers back available, in addition to hopefully getting Alexander Nikishin through the concussion protocol, which both look like they're on track. Hopefully Jarvis gets back to being, the super elite top end Jarvis that we're used to. So that's good answer. I didn't even really think of Jarvis, and I probably should have. And by the way, just for those of you that this is your first time, we do eliminate Freddie Anderson or goalies from this option because obvious, right? So that one's off the table, category of its own.
Wait, you mean goalies are important?
In the postseason? No way. In every hockey game? Yeah. So anyway.
Not buying it.
They're
not
off,
buying it. I don't believe it.
We just didn't choose them. We just thought it was more important that these other guys got going, which it might be. Another one I'm putting on the list, Jordan Staal. He does it like it's crazy that we're still talking about him. He's kind of the glue guy. He does a little bit of everything. He's out there on special teams of all varieties. He's face-offs. He's scoring goals this year. He, as you heard during the conversation during the Cup check-in, dropped the mitts, which is something he doesn't do very often. To me, during the first series, he very much was going into each game and kind of looking around going, all right, what do we need? What do I have to do? And he was kind of morphing into that. So having a player, your captain, that age, that size, that can just kind of get in where he fits in and mold into the puzzle piece that you need, I think that's super duper important, and he needs to keep it up. And also, there's legacy things on the line for Staal in a postseason that I think he could check off the final thing that he needs to check off in his, decade plus long run with the Carolina Hurricanes. So I'm putting Staal out there for game 1. Also, tone setter. What did he do at the beginning of game 1 last time? Set the tone. So I think you can see my theme here. I went with Stankoven and Staal. Stankoven set the tone for like every game scoring, and Staal set the tone for the series by popping Brady Tkachuk with the strong right. Set the tone. Somebody's got to do it. These guys did it last time, so I'm putting them back on the importance list for game number 1. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Speaking of setting the tone in game number 1, time for some first goal scorer predictions. Beautiful. We went a little over, so we'll have to do this quick. So call in right now, 919-860-5326 with who you think will score the first goal for the Carolina Hurricanes tomorrow, game 1 against the Flyers, 8 o'clock, Lenovo Center. 919-860-5326. You need to tell us who scores the first goal for the Canes and in what period you think they score it. 919-860-5326. Call in quick. We'll do our best to get at least a couple of you on air. 919-860-5326. While you call in, I'll give you the run from the 99.9 The Fan personalities. Adam Gold went with Andrei Svechnikov in the first. Just a regular 5-on-5, quote-unquote, normal goal, which would be really nice to see. Next up, we have Victoria. You're going to see a theme here from the rest of our predictors. Victoria, who produces the Adam Gold Show, Stankoven in the first 10 minutes. Paul Ihander, the host of Next Up with Paul Ihander, weekday mornings, 9 to 10 here on The Fan. Stankoven in the first, calls it a solo effort, carries it in himself, does it kind of on a solo act. And then Max Gorin produces Paul's show weekday mornings. Stankoven, but this one in the second. So he has Stankoven in the second as his period, which is a little different. but obviously a lot of Stankoven coming in. Let's go to the call-in line. Let's see what the public thinks is going to be the first goal scorer for the Canes. And we'll start with Austin and Raleigh. Austin, welcome to the show. Who scores the first goal and in what period?
We're going Goss's Bear in the first 5 minutes power play.
First 5 minutes power play. I don't have to ask for more details because you gave them to us. Solid call, good efficiency. Good luck to you.
Appreciate it.
That's Austin and Raleigh. Ghost in the first 5 minutes on the power play. So they're going to draw a quick penalty in that one too. Let's go to Jamie and Benson next up on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Jamie, who scores the first goal for the Canes and in what period?
I was going to go Stankoven, but now give me Ehlers with assist from Stankoven.
All right. Ehlers in the first period. Is that what you said?
In the first, and Hurricanes win 3-2.
All right. A lot of predictions there. Good luck to you. It'd be nice if Ehlers scores, kind of fresh off the return, assuming he's able to go tomorrow. Ginger is next up. Ginger in Middlesex. Ginger, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Perfect. Go ahead and give us your first goal scorer prediction.
I'm going with Stankoven, and the first period, probably within the first 5 minutes.
All right. Stankoven has a very confident fan base right now.
I mean, why wouldn't you pick Stankoven? Let's be real.
It's crazy because I'm not picking Stankoven, but one of my rules is the best indicator of future results is past results, and in 3 out of the 4, he has scored the first goal, and in 4 out of the 4, he has scored a goal. So it's not a bad pick. I'm not complaining at all. Brian in Lewisburg, you are up next. Our final call-in participant. Who scores the first goal for the Canes and in what period?
Stanky, 3 minutes in.
All right. 3 minutes in. That is definitely a detailed enough prediction for us. Appreciate it, Brian. Good luck to you. Just to be clear here. Actually, we'll wait. Let's get Dennis's first. Dennis, who is your first goal scorer?
Austin and Raleigh, he and I are on the same page. Give me Shane Gostisbehere in the first period on a power play as well.
All right.
That's exactly what I was leaning in. That's the reason why I chose him as one of my 2 players.
That makes sense. I mean, I hope he's important if he's scoring goals early on the power play.
I know.
I hope that proves to be an important goal. So let's see here. We have 699.9 the fan personalities. We have 4 callers today. So that's 10. That's on-air math. 10 first goal scorer predictions. We have 5 Stankovens.
I mean,
and the rest of us.
The bet.
And this is not a joke. Adam, Jamie, so Adam Gold from the Adam Gold Show, Jamie the caller, and both Dennis and I in our predictions mentioned Stankoven before making our predictions. So 9 of the 10 at least mentioned Stankoven in making our predictions before either sticking with Stankoven or making a different prediction. Shows what kind of a heater he is on. You can continue to get your predictions in if you weren't able to get through on the call-in line. 99.9 The Fans YouTube live stream is a great place to do it. You can just drop those right into the comment section underneath the video.
So we have this one comes from NC Citizen.
Okay.
Says Jarvis in the first because he needs to boost his confidence.
Oh.
I don't disagree with that at all. Joseph Powell says it has to be Stankoven in the first, right? History does not lie. Jake Burgoon says Taylor Hall in the first, which, by the way, I had Taylor Hall in the first period last game, but he scored in the second. I was half right in that one. We also have from Scott Thomas says Svetch in the first. And then we also have our guy D. Ely says he's going to go with Eric Robinson in the second period.
That one, if it hits, buy a lotto ticket.
Mm-hmm.
It is crazy that so many of us not only are not going with Stankoven, but not even going with someone on that line.
Yeah, I know.
It's insane. I don't know why. I'm going to be very frustrated when it's Jackson Blake and none of us picked it. And we're like, it definitely should have been. We should have known it was Jackson Blake.
I talked to Jackson in the locker room after practice today one-on-one. So he and I, a little background here. So he and I had a conversation one-on-one like 2 days before training camp back in September. And I asked him from year 1 to year 2 how he adjusted his training in the offseason just because getting used to the NHL schedule. And he goes, yeah, I skated a lot less in the summertime just to make sure my legs felt better. You know, hopefully my legs will feel better come playoff time. And I asked him today as a follow-up, I said, all right, did it pay off? He goes, yeah, I'm feeling a lot better than I did last year. So I think it definitely did pay off because I think he said going into his rookie season, he was skating in the month of July like 5 days a week, and it felt like it kind of wore him down a little bit. So he was just skating a little bit less in the offseason, focusing a little bit more on the strength training and such. And yeah, he looks damn good. He looks better in this playoffs than he did in the last playoffs. That's for darn sure. It's interesting because last year people were writing him off after that last season's playoffs at times. I was like,
by
why?
comparison, if you're out there being compared to Stankoven, who turns into a superhero every postseason, it's easy to go well, why didn't he do that too? Why didn't he score 5 goals in a couple of games? By the way, Jackson Blake, my favorite thing about him is you can just tell he's a rink rat. His dad played 900 games in the NHL. He obviously did all the juniors and he played in college. He's 22 years old. I bet if you totaled up all the days he spent at a hockey rink, it's 14 years. He spent so much time, and it's every once in a while he did in the first round. He breaks out a bit of stick handling or a spin move or whatever, and you're just like, oh boy, if he ever pockets one of those super highlight goals in a postseason, his confidence is going to go through the roof, and you're going to start seeing some and one mixtape tour stuff from Jackson Blake. It's going to be really fun, and as he puts on just a little bit more weight, and it's going to be really exciting. So there you go. Those are the first goal scorer predictions. If you get it right, we will give you some praise. If you haven't made your prediction yet, YouTube live stream comments. 99.9 The Fan is the channel. Jump on our YouTube live stream. Comment below the video.
Oh, Kyle just said Martinook in the first.
Heart and soul.
Yep.
Heart and soul of the team.
And Jackie says, give me Jackson Blake in the first.
Hey, you know what? If there was a Tim on the team, I would take them too.
Yeah.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we move on, Dennis, you have something you want to say?
I do. Dennis Cox here real quick for Law Tigers. Speaking of being able to make sure that you improve from one year to the next or even 1 month to the next, it's practicing. It's getting better at the fundamentals of things. And as a motorcycle rider, even if you've been riding for years, it's okay to still focus on the fundamentals. It's okay to still focus on the basics of riding a motorcycle. Never take anything for granted when you're out there on the road. Even as a motorcycle rider myself, I've been riding for about 2 years now. There's still some things I like to continue to freshen up on, or maybe even get better when it comes to riding my motorcycle. I'm not talking about popping wheelies or anything along those lines, but what about making tight turns at a slow pace inside a parking lot, or maybe making right-hand turns from a stop at a stop sign, but make sure I do it quickly. That way I'm not just slowly merging out into traffic. Those kinds of things that make you better as a motorcycle rider. That way you can stay safe when you're out there on the road. But accidents certainly can happen when you're out there on the road, and this is where Law Tigers steps in. Law Tigers was created by riders for riders. So if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, contact the people that are there to support you. Give them a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS or visit lawtigers.com. Even before you contact the insurance company. Insurance companies want to give you the least amount possible, whereas Law Tigers, they're there to fight for you. They know what your bike is worth, they know what your gear is worth, and also they understand the risks of the road. Your case evaluation is always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, plays a Friday real bold predictions. Next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
All of my life, all I heard from Mets fans were, oh, you Yankees fans, all you do is buy championships. If we had as much money as you, we'd have 27 just like you guys. The New York Mets have the highest cash payroll of any team in baseball. $360 million this year.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Step between the lines when you download the High School OT mobile app presented by State Employees Credit Union. It's easier than ever to find the coverage you want for the sports and schools you cheer for the loudest. Receive up-to-minute alerts, scores, videos, insider content, and the latest high school sports news across the state of North Carolina. Available now on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store, the High School OT mobile app, presented by State Employees Credit Union.
Here's a harsh fact. 40% of women and nearly 20% of men suffer from varicose or spider veins. Left untreated, these veins can cause tired, heavy legs, swelling, burning, cramping, aching, even restless leg syndrome. In some cases, it can lead to serious health risks like blood clots. USA Vein Clinics offers minimally invasive treatments that take as little as 15 minutes, covered by most insurances. Call 984-207-6220 and schedule your appointment today. Don't wait. Call 984-207-6220 for free information today. Imagine walking, exercising, and sleeping peacefully again. Varicose and spider veins won't go away on their own. USA Vein Clinics can help. Call 984-207-6220 for fast, easy, and affordable solutions. USA Vein Clinics treatments are covered by most insurance plans. Don't put this off any longer. Call 984-207-6220.
It's bow time. Sometimes the craving for Bojangles Supremes is so strong you just gotta have them. Even when your gas tank is on empty and Bojangles is still 10 miles down the highway. Nothing beats the flavor of Bojangles' juicy Golden Supremes, especially when they're part of a perfect combo with 4 boldly seasoned chicken Supremes, a made-from-scratch biscuit, fixin', and some legendary iced tea. The only thing that can satisfy your hunger is that delicious southern flavor. So when the craving is supreme, put the pedal to the metal. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that one-of-a-kind Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes Dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned, Cajun-fried, whole breast tenderloin fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles' legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Sent across, looking for it up front. They score! Jackson Blake on a beautiful pass from Keandre Miller. Blake knows it, and he puts Carolina up 2-1.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. 12 minutes. You have 12 minutes and counting to gain this hour's entry that could potentially win you Carolina Hurricanes Round 2, Game 2 playoff tickets. The way you get this hour's entry is texting the keyword DRIVE, D-R-I-V-E, to 919-860-5326. You have to do it by 5 o'clock. That keyword expires right at 5. As I've been telling people, we can't, do anything to get you in after 5. The machine says, nope, it expired, it's no good. So text it now. DRIVE, D-R-I-V-E, to 919-860-5326. If you got 4 people in your car right now, you can use all 4 phones. 919-860-5326 is the number. DRIVE is the keyword. And yes, we will have one more keyword that will be live in the 5 o'clock hour. It will be something other than DRIVE. For right now, all you have to know is DRIVE. And you could win a pair of tickets to see Round 2, Game 2. Canes Flyers.
Whenever that game is.
Whenever that is. We still don't know, do we?
No, we don't. Well, I think we'll know tonight.
Probably similar time of night to when we found out yesterday when Game 1 will be.
Yeah, whenever that last game ends. You never know. We could have 3 series end tonight. We could have 3 series go to Game 7 tonight.
True.
Which would be awesome.
I was going to say, I think I would rather, even though, this is tough because I'm competitive first. So I am definitely team whatever would make Carolina not have the biggest break possible going into the finals if they make it. But also, 3 Game 7s in one day would be pretty awesome as well. So, I'm walking the fence on that one. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We have a few more minutes before the top of the hour, so let's go ahead and fire up a quick version of Real Bold Predictions. You'll catch on with how the game is played if you don't know already. How about we start with some Canes Game 1 versus Flyers predictions? Logan Stankoven scores a goal. I just want to see how far you're going to make me go. Logan Stankoven, a goal and 2 points. Okay. I guess I could have gone first goal. I was trying to think of how I could have made it more bold. 2 points and a goal. It's a good game for Logan. It's a good one. Solid. Oh, this one, I don't even know if you're going to think it's bold, but I think you're going to hope it happens. Gostisbehere scores on the power play.
No, because I predicted it.
Gostisbehere scores on the power play on a one-timer. Gostisbehere scores on a power play on a one-timer in the second period. All right. Just going to have to get more and more specific
right.
as we with this guy on the ice. How about some NFL draft? Some like Panthers long-term bold predictions.
Okay.
Chris Brazzell finishes top 7 amongst rookies in receiving yards.
Among rookies in receiving yards?
Rookies in receiving yards.
Yeah, I'll give that a...
All right. I was prepared to go to top 5. I think there's a couple highly drafted receivers that are going to go. A lot of the other receivers that I like just went to kind of confusing situations where they might be good players, but I just don't know how much opportunity they're going to have to really impact. I think Chris Brazzell could have 3 games this year where he has like 3 catches for 90 yards.
Yeah.
Right? And that right there is going to get you a lot of yards. And then if you're just tacking on, 38 something this game, 50 that game, it makes it happen.
I also think because I think there was 22 tight ends that were drafted. Now some of them are more blocky tight ends, but there's a lot of tight ends that were drafted.
There were, I think it's time. This is actually ready for this.
Okay.
Big picture NFL stuff.
All right.
There was who's the linebacker for the Lions that was drafted the same year as Jahmyr Gibbs?
Jack Campbell.
Jack Campbell. Thank you. They had to decline his 5th-year option.
Really?
Because off-ball backers, their 5th-year option, the amount of money you're paid is based on the position you play, and he gets grouped with outside linebackers that are edge rushers because linebackers are all one thing.
Okay.
So he would have gotten the average of Micah Parsons and so money if they would have picked up his 5th-year option because technically they're outside linebackers, which is foolish. And also like centers that are drafted in the first round or guards, they almost always have to have their 5th-year option declined because all offensive linemen are judged the same, which include tackles.
Okay, I didn't realize that. I guess because there's the versatility of the group. That makes sense.
So dumb. Mm-hmm. We know a guard. We know a tackle. They should be able to be paid differently.
What if I play both?
That you go by majority of snaps at each position.
Huh.
And that's how I would do it. But I'm halfway to saying we need to divide up tight ends to receiving tight ends and blocking tight ends because they're not playing the same position. What's the guy's name? The second rounder that everybody was surprised by.
Eli Stowers?
No.
The guy that went to Jacksonville.
Yeah, and he's a tackle. He's a tackle that lines up outside the tackle. His college stats were like, I block. And it was hilarious on draft day because they were like a tight end going in the first round. He had 150 receiving yards last year. And I'm only kind of exaggerating on that. He does not play the same position as like Kenyon Sadiq. It's not even the same. Nate Boerkircher. Yeah. In his college career, he had 417 receiving yards. You're right. They had 1 billion tight ends drafted, but like half of them were just tackles that occasionally leak out. And I just think it's messed up that all of that's going to be, they're all like linked. It's not fair. Like the linebacker for Detroit, he should have his 5th-year option picked up. He's exceeding the expectations of when they drafted him. It's just, no, he's not Micah Parsons. Doesn't play the same position as that guy either, but they're impacting his money. All right, my rant ran out of time for real bold predictions.
You get one more in here.
One more, okay.
Yeah, we get one more.
We'll stick with the draft.
Yeah.
We'll stick with the draft. Zakee Wheatley starts at least 6 games. 5th-round rookie safety. I think about halfway through, he's going to start working his way into this. Is not like if injuries happen, it could be more. But I think about halfway through the reps he gets, he's going to start impressing, and then by the end of the year, he'll just be the starter. Working about 7, 8 starts, something like that. And now that'll be the end of real bold predictions. here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. We are nearing 5 o'clock. We will have a new keyword for the playoff ticket giveaway in the next hour. We'll also have the starting five. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and after every Hurricanes game, thanks to my friends at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, we give you the Canes Corner podcast. In-depth analysis on what happened, why it happened, what's going to happen next, which players are those to look out for, and as we get deep into the playoffs, how can Carolina best position themselves to win a Stanley Cup? Canes Corner podcast, brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, live on YouTube, and of course available wherever you get your podcasts.
Whether you're in school, whether it's in life, you just got to give it everything you got, and I'm glad I was able to represent that.
The Coastal Scholar Athlete of the Month from 99.9 The Fan and Coastal Credit Union. To nominate your athlete, text AWARD to 919-860-5326.
Saturday, May 2nd, cheer on the North Carolina Courage as they host the reigning NWSL Shield champs, Kansas City Current. Bring the family for an affordable night with free parking, no ticket fees, and pregame fan fest fun for all ages. Tickets are going fast. Grab yours now at tickets.nccourage.com.
Progressive knows it ain't easy navigating the open plains of home insurance, but there is one man who can help tame that wild herd of options. The Home Quote Explorer.
Note, Progressive's Home Quote Explorer is not a real person, but an online tool that lets you compare home insurance.
He's the type of feller who helps you decide on the right insurance, even if it ain't with him.
Again, not a person, just an online tool that helps you find great home coverage.
A real pioneer.
Okay, fine. Just do the thing. Yeah! Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations.
Accidents happen, and they can happen at any age. That's why Chapel Hill Family and Cosmetic Dentistry provides complete everyday dental care for your entire family, from the littlest athlete to adults ready for a healthier, more confident smile.
Oh, nice.
Dr. James Ferguson and his team are here for everything from routine care and cleanings to advanced treatments, so everyone can enjoy a strong, healthy smile. Schedule your visit today at chapelhilldds.com.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Amy Wilmoth. A stray shower or two this evening. Otherwise, it's mainly cloudy for the rest of the day. Temperatures staying in the 60s. Tonight, we'll get down into the low to mid 50s. Rain arrives by Saturday morning. Showers are likely on and off throughout the day on Saturday, with highs only in the upper 50s.
5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones down 152 points today to 49,499. This hour of the drive is brought to you by Law Tigers. Injured in a motorcycle accident? Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Case evaluations are always free, and you don't pay a dime until your case settles. Law Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting five.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Because it is your last chance to gain an entry into our playoff ticket giveaway, I want you to have the entirety of the 5 o'clock hour. Until 6 o'clock, the final keyword will be alive. And the keyword is puck. P-U-C-K. Text puck to 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Text puck. That's the keyword. That's all you have to send. You don't have to send anything else. You don't have to call. You don't have to email. Nothing on social media, although if you're going on social media, follow us, 99.9 The Fan. Puck. P-U-C-K is the keyword. It will be live until 6 Once you send it in, you will have the final entry, the final possible entry for you to win Carolina Hurricanes Round 2, Game 2 playoff tickets. Winner will be selected and announced on Monday. We do not know when Game 2 is.
We don't.
But we will know one of you will be there.
And as Tim said, do not call. Literally had someone last hour call, and as soon as I answered, they just said the key word. I was
That's funny to
I was
me.
like, buddy, text it.
That's so funny to me.
He goes, oh, text it. Yeah.
Just calling in and saying a keyword, and then, all right, I'm in. It's so funny to me. Text in the keyword. For this hour, it is PUCK, P-U-C-K. Text it to 919-860-5326. Text it. All right, I got to lock back in. I don't know why I think that's so funny. Someone just calls in and says the keyword audibly and is like, I'm in. It's just so funny. I'm not making fun of you. It's Friday. So with it being Friday and 5 o'clock, let's jump right into the starting five.
Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Let's do that hockey.
NHL playoffs continue to roll on. You know what I was a little disappointed about last night?
What's that?
No overtimes. Like, what's going on here, NHL playoffs? You give us overtimes every night. Last night it was a couple of multi-goals, like both 5-2, right? It was Minnesota 5-2 over Dallas and Anaheim 5-2 over Edmonton. Both ended the series. No overtime. Robbed us of Game 7s. Let's get back on. Let's have a couple overtimes tonight, at least a couple of Game 7s on Sunday. How you feel? Tampa at Montreal tonight, Buffalo at Boston, and Vegas at Utah. All of those 3-2. So they all could potentially lead to a Game 7, which Game 7, right? Most exciting 2 words in sports. The other thing that I find interesting about this postseason run is it's meaning this like entire postseason, the entire bracket thus far. It really puts into perspective how impressive it is that the Carolina Hurricanes have won at least one postseason series every year for the last 8. Because if you were looking for teams that have won at least one postseason series every year, last year and this year, other than the Canes, the most possible is 1. If Vegas closes out their series, they will have won a postseason series last year and this year. Nobody else. Canes, 8 straight postseason years with a postseason series win. How insane is that? Like, that doesn't that put it into perspective? If Utah comes back and wins back-to-back games to beat Vegas, the Canes will be the only team in the second round this year that was in the second rounds last year. They are already the last team of the 4 conference finalists last year that's still alive, looking to return. The consistency of the Canes is being put on display by the fact that nobody else has that type of consistency or anything near that type of consistency. Should be a fun night tonight and hopefully a fun weekend for NHL playoffs.
Yeah, no more Mikko Rantanen in the playoffs either.
No more Mikko Rantanen.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
The crazy part about it, though, and this goes to show why, I don't run from it. I'm sure if you went and looked up our reaction to when they traded for Mikko, this is kind of why we were excited. It feels like he had a bad series, didn't it? He had 7 points in 6 games.
Yeah. He was -8, but whatever.
There's some team elements there.
Had 7 points in 4? Taylor Hall.
I'm not saying it was a bad trade or anything, but I feel like I should be making fun of the guy. He had over a point per game in the series. It just shows how high expectations are. That was a fun series, though. I will say that. It kind of bookended with not fun games unless you just like the Stars getting run over. But that was a fun series with full storylines and everything. Now, Jason Robertson can sit around and figure out how he's going to finagle his way to the Canes, right? That's all he has to do all offseason. Stanley Cup playoffs are number 5. Let's get to number 4.
1, 2, 3, 4.
all together.
To the left, it's Isaiah Evans. Now it's Cameron Boozer, left side of the paint. Finds it cross court. It's Tom Asar. Good again. A three from the right corner.
So we talked about it yesterday. Duke has reached an agreement. Duke men's basketball has reached an agreement with Amazon to have on Amazon Prime exclusively 3 of their non-conference games per year. This upcoming year, it will be neutral courts, big venues, Vegas, Madison Square Garden, Detroit. It'll be UConn. It'll be Michigan. It'll be Gonzaga. It's going to be a real point of pivot in college sports as a whole. So after we discussed yesterday everything it's going to do for Duke, it's NIL opportunities for the players, it's additional money to the program, it's a huge amount of exposure. Amazon is international. It's a great relationship to build. Amazon in the streaming worlds, they got cash. It's aside from the ACC, so this is not like something they split media rights-wise. We talked about all that. My question now is what's next? Because Duke is obviously, like, they're reading the rule books. They're reading the contracts and looking for ways they can make money or they can advance their brand that nobody has done before. I think there's going to be a lot of copycats. I wouldn't be surprised if we see Carolina or Kentucky or somebody strike a similar deal with Netflix, or maybe both with Netflix. I wouldn't be surprised if other ACC teams try to piggyback off of it and roll with Amazon in a similar deal. I don't know. What about football? The ACC is already cool with not treating the players or their teams the same, right? They've divided up how they divide their media money. Could they say, all right, everybody gets one non-conference game. You can go sell on your own. And that way Clemson can go prove that they're a bigger brand by selling their game for a bunch more money than Pitt does. And on and on and on and on. Maybe. Is there a different way that Duke or the next innovator is going to try to make money off their program? Because there's not every idea is going to be a great one. Some of them I think will be neutral. But Brian Murphy, WRL Sports investigative reporter, tweeted this out a handful of weeks ago. NC State is letting you sponsor the display cases with naming rights in their facilities. Like, hey, that's the Dennis Cox display case because he gave a bunch of money. People are looking in places they haven't looked before for cash because it's becoming such a wins follow the money business. What's the next frontier? That's what all of the schools should be doing in their conference rooms right now. Okay, Duke figured out that avenue. We're going to do that. We're going to copy them. What can we be the first to do?
I wonder if you'll see a team or school that goes to HBO and be like, do a college hard knocks.
A college hard knocks, which Carolina almost did.
Yeah, they almost did that. UNC almost had that. It kind of, it fell through for whatever reason. But I wouldn't be surprised if you get that, or if Duke basketball all of a sudden after this season, if Amazon gets a lot of exposure from Duke basketball, that for 27-28 season, we have a season-long Hard Knocks type thing or some sort of documentary type series. Like, here's a 4-part look back at the whatever. I wouldn't be surprised if we got something like that. Again, added revenue.
I was thinking about this the other day, and this could be, again, in these conference rooms, there has to be no bad ideas. Have you ever been to a piano bar?
I actually have not, but I know how it works.
Dueling piano bars? Mm-hmm. I was at a piano bar, and it's happened multiple times. They like write, I don't know, like "Go Dogs" up on a whiteboard or a mirror behind the pianos, and they start playing the Georgia fight song. And then, there's Michigan fans there, and Michigan fans run down with loads of money, and they give money to the pianist to stop playing the Georgia fight song and start playing the Michigan fight song, and then they cross out "Go Dogs" and they write "Go Blue." And then Georgia fans are so mad that they didn't get to hear the end, and they run down and I'm wondering if you can't somehow create like a competition for boosting where it's money being raised, but it's public. So like Alabama fans know that this team raised more money than you, so you want to go be competitive and win. And it's I don't know. But You got to find money wherever you can find money, because Duke is darn sure doing it for their basketball program, and that's how they end up with the roster they have, which is just 12 pretty bananas recruits or returnees or transfers all committed to play for them next year. That is number 4. How about number 3? What was the thump for?
Because did you see what happened to the Atlanta Hawks yesterday?
Oh, okay. I did. It's NBA playoffs is this number on the starting 5.
Boring.
I mean, it jumped the threshold. Blowouts in the playoffs are so boring until they become like a novelty. It was a 50-point game in the first half.
Yeah, well that's kind of like, all right, we're just watching someone's destruction here.
Yeah, it's like when it was 25, it was like, oh, am I even going to watch the end of this? When it was 50 in the first half, I was like, could they win by 90? Could they do it? Like you it's like a train wreck, right? You can't, or a car crash. You can't look away. If we're talking about the the real results from yesterday, Sixers beat the Celtics, which has put Philadelphia fans. I'm lucky. I'm just a Sixers fan when it comes to Philly teams. I'm not like a Philly and a Flyers fan because they have to decide tomorrow what they're going to watch. Game 1, Flyers Canes, or Game 7, Celtics Sixers. They're gonna, or they'll double screen it or go to a bar or whatever.
Which, by the way, the result of Celtics Sixers actually has an impact on Canes Flyers. Because the Sixers and the Flyers use the same building.
Well, I'm a Sixers fan, so I'm rooting for the Sixers. Are you saying that everybody should be rooting for the Celtics just so the NHL can pick whenever they want to have their games against the Canes?
No.
Okay. Just we'd have to pay attention to their schedule to learn our schedule. All right, that's fair. I'm proud of the Sixers for taking it 7, if we're being real. Everything this year said the Celtics were a better team, except for this series. Anything can happen in a Game 7. Around the NBA, the Thunder have a bit of a Canes problem going on in that they finished their series quick, swept the Suns, and now the Lakers and Rockets, who they're going to play, are dragging it out. So they're going to have that long break. That they're going to have the same debates that we're having right now about the Canes being, too rested or rusty or actually, benefiting from it, whatever it is. And then the other thing about the NBA postseason that I want to mention here is the Nuggets lost to the Timberwolves. Nuggets were the 3 seed. Now, my first reaction was Michael Malone has to be a little, he won't say it, but a little pleased with that, right? Team moves on from you. You don't want to see him go win championships and stuff without you. So they're eliminated in the first round. That's got to feel a little good. Secondly, I think we have to be pretty critical of Nikola Jokic on this one. Nikola Jokic is a 3-time MVP. He's been pretty universally agreed upon as the best player in the NBA for 3 or 4 years. Even though he won't win the MVP every year, it's kind of like he's the best. When LeBron was the best, if he was eliminated in the first round of the postseason, when Kobe was the best, if he was eliminated in the first round of the postseason, people still, to this day, talk about Michael Jordan getting eliminated by the Pistons in 82 or whatever it was. That's obviously earlier. He was still Carolina, but it's an exaggeration. I don't know. Jokic seems to be going out in the first round, and everybody's just kind of moving on without the appropriate level of, hey, that's not allowed legacy talk. So I just want to be on the record saying, hey, that's not allowed legacy talk for Nikola Jokic, especially because the Timberwolves lost 2 of their better players. Anthony Edwards with the hyperextended knee, Dante DiVincenzo with the Achilles, still took care of business against the Nuggets. That's number 3. Let's hit number 2.
Just the 2 of us.
On the latest episode of As the Portal Turns.
I have a question. Transfer portal, college basketball, still very much in motion. Players can't enter into the transfer portal, but they can already be in and they can remain in. Here's my question. And the reason I'm asking is because, we've been tracking Juke Harris from the moment he went into the portal from Wake Forest. He was the most improved player in the ACC this year, averaged 21 points, really good player. Paul McNeil had a lights-out shooting year for NC State. Makes sense, right? Coaching change, he goes into the portal. We've been tracking him. What are you waiting for? I'm not saying hey, I should be able to make decisions for you. I want you to be able to do whatever you think is best for you as a player in the college sports world, because I know that there's a lot of rules and a lot of regulations that are stacked against you. But what are you waiting for? Once you're in the portal, you hear the teams that are interested. Dennis, do you think at this point, we're in May, Juke Harris, according to 247, went into the portal the 3rd of last month. So we're 2 days away from him being in the portal for a full month. Do you think there are bigger offers are still going up? Do you think a team that offered him X amount of dollars is going to come tomorrow and say X plus 5%? It just seems like at this point you know what you're getting into. You could visit if you wanted to. You've had a month. You got to pick your spot. You got to reserve your spot at the table. You know what I mean? You got to start building the next season.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, the teams that are competing for him are going to sit there and go look, you need to make a decision, otherwise, I got to go get this other person.
Exactly.
I just got to know. I want you here. I do. This is the offer. Either you take it or we move on.
It just seems.
Let us know by Friday.
It seems crazy that so many good players. It'd be one thing if you're waiting for a guy to get injured in workouts and okay, a spot opened up. These are good players that have had a ton of options that are just hanging around. And I know that fan bases are getting. I've watched in real time on social media NC State fans go from the most apologetic people in the world for Paul McNeil Jr. to all right, the saga's got to end. Are you coming back or not? They've gone from hey, we'll wait. I get it. You want to explore your options. We're still here for, hey, we'll raise money. Hey, to now it's it's almost a month, man. Either rip the Band-Aid off or say you're coming back. Listen, portal wasn't a thing when I was playing. I'm sure it's a bit of paralysis by options. You got so many things to deal with. But at some point, you just got to measure the options. You got to make your choice, and you got to go, and you got to start getting ready for next year. But that's just me. Do what's best for you. That is number 2. Let's get to number 1.
The 1! Another chance here. Out in front. And Anderson again takes it away out in front. It was Cousins. Now Batherson's trying to get a piece of somebody. Kachuk's out in front.
Carolina Hurricanes fans, few things I need to keep you updated on. 1, Game 1 against the Flyers will be tomorrow at 8 p.m. It is at home at the Lenovo Center. If you make it out to the game, bring a tailgate tent. Might be misty a little bit there. It's supposed to rain most of the day, but it should be winding down by tailgate time. Lots open at 5. If you can't make it out there, you can listen to it here on 99.9 The Fan, and our 99.9 The Fan broadcast is the only place you can hear Mike Maniscalco and Trip Tracy. So if you want that audio, it can be on our app, 99.9 The Fan, or traditional radio, 99.9 The Fan. Also, that's Game 1 tomorrow. If you would like to go to Game 2 and you don't have tickets, I might be able to help you out. Text right now, keyword PUCK, P-U-C-K, to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of Carolina Hurricanes Round 2 Game 2 playoff tickets. Winners will be selected and notified on Monday, May 4th. I do want to emphasize these are tickets to Game 2, not to tonight's game, obviously, because we're announcing the winner on or tomorrow night's game, obviously, because we're announcing the winner on Monday. So text keyword PUCK, P-U-C-K, to 919-860-5326, and you have to get those texts in by 6 o'clock. This is a 1-hour keyword. It opened up at 5 o'clock. I'm reminding you, if you haven't done so already, to text in the keyword by 6. And if you do that, you will gain this hour's entry. This is your last chance. Now, let's talk about that game tomorrow. Let's talk about the Canes. Let's talk about them in the postseason. Let's say happy birthday to Jacob Slavin. It is his birthday today. 32 years old. 32 years old for Jacob Slavin. I imagine for his birthday he would love a Game 1 victory tomorrow. And I believe his teammates are going to do everything they possibly can to give him that victory.
They should have post-game cake.
Post-game cake? That's one you keep in the training room unless if it's a win, you bring out the birthday cake. If it's a loss, sorry, Jacob, you gotta act a little upset on your birthday. It'll be a week since the Canes' last game when they dropped the puck Saturday. It'll be 3 days for the Flyers. A lot of people are going to talk about it. We've talked about it, rest versus rust. Let's grab that Gostisbehere clip when he was asked about it. I think Gostisbehere had the right answer to it, which is, by the way, not very sports radio-y. I'm going to debate and argue. It's just logical and thought out, and here's Gostisbehere.
Gift and a curse, I'd say. Sometimes rust, I don't know. Just either way, if we play good, people like it was the rest. If we play bad, be like it was the rest. So, it goes both ways.
It goes both ways. That's it, right? The irony is whoever wins, the losers are going to blame the time between series. If the Canes win, you'll hear Flyers radio going, well, they were so rested and the fatigue and blah, blah, blah. And if the Flyers win and the Canes lose, we'll be going, oh, it was all rust. They sat too long. It took them until 10 minutes into the second period to be back into a rhythm. When in actuality, what you just heard is right? It's a little bit of both. It's a gift and a curse. Probably comes out in the wash. You got to go play good hockey to win. Nikolai Ehlers was on the ice today at practice. That's a big development. He missed Game 4 with a lower body injury. And Alexander Nikishin, who left Game 4 and was in concussion protocol, has taken off the no-contact jersey that he had been skating with. So he was in a regular sweater today at practice. That's the big news there. Carrier and Freddie Anderson had the day off, but those are just rest days. Those were not news there. I just wanted to make sure you were aware on everything. Speaking of Nikishin, the player that was in concussion protocol, his fellow countryman, Andrei Svechnikov, spoke about Alexander Nikishin and his availability or how he's feeling. Here's Svech.
He actually asked me at the end of the practice to get a couple of hits on him. I think he's feeling good, he's really good, and I think he's going to be in for sure.
You just wanted to give him like a little wake-up call out there?
Yeah, I mean, just kind of, practice. No one hits it in practice, but he asked me kind of get the couple hits on him, so I kind of tried to go heavy on him, and he said he felt good.
I get it. I absolutely get it. Hey, man, just pop me a few times, right? Because the trainer is going to go through and make all the real decisions, right? The medical staff will make the ones on how you progress through protocol. But you know what a trainer's not going to do? He's not going to let you get through the mental of returning. Sometimes you just got to feel yourself hit the boards a few times. You got to know for yourself. So, right, the trainer is going to do all of the important stuff, all of the evaluations. Did you make it through protocol? The medical staff will. And then you got to go to your buddy and say, hey, pop me. Give me a good one time, just so I know I'm all right and I feel okay. It'd be huge if both of those guys can play. They're important. They're good hockey players. They're two of the biggest differences between last year's Canes team and this year's Canes team. So if they're back, that the time in between was worth it. Dennis, I'm going to hit you with a big version of an if-then, so I'm going to put you on the spot. Obviously, Game 1 is tomorrow, and I could say if blank happens, then the Canes win Game 1.
Okay.
But I don't want that. That's too small. I want to think bigger. If blank happens, then the Canes win the series and go back to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh, if Canes win
bigger
the series.
Picture here. I'm looking at the whole series.
All right, as a whole, if Aho, Svech, Jarvis each have multiple goals throughout the course of this series, they win it.
Ooh. First of all, that'd be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It would take some of the scoring pressure off of the Stankoven line, who has been carrying it on their shoulders like Atlas. But also it would mean that, like, to me, when all three of those guys are going, it's just an indicator of bigger good things happening for the Canes. Like when everything is a well-oiled machine, those three really get going because they play the game differently. I think Aho takes it upon himself very much to get other guys going. And if he's being selfish and shooting and scoring goals himself, that usually means like everybody else doesn't need him, right? So he can focus on himself. I just think that's kind of a canary in the mine that things are going very, very well for the Canes if all three of those guys are going. So I like the answer. And now I'll put you on the spot on the smaller version.
Oh, okay.
For game one, if-then statement. If blank happens, then the Canes win tomorrow, and they start off the series 1-0.
I think if Carolina scores on the power play, they win.
That's another good one. I don't disagree with either of those. We're in lockstep today. I like that. And also, just generically winning the special teams battle, because Philly's power play this season is so rough, so not good.
It's not good.
That the Canes penalty kill should be able to eat that up pretty good. And if the power play gets going, you're winning that special teams battle, and it's, turnovers in football, free throws in basketball, special teams in hockey. Like the statistics say, when you win those battles, it makes you win at a much higher clip. That game, again, tomorrow, 8 o'clock. You can hear it right here, 99.9 The Fan. Game 1, Canes Flyers, round 2 of the postseason. And as soon as we know when game 2 will be, you can be assured that we will pass it along to you, whether it's our social media or if somebody's on air locally, we'll pass it along there as well. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the numbers game. If you want to win a $25 Hardee's gift card, you got to play the numbers game. And to play, you got to be a contestant. We need 2 contestants. Call in now. 919-860-5326. 919-860-5326. 2 contestants. Numbers game next.
I don't care what you got, just give it up. One goal.
Nikishin, Ehlers, scores on the power play.
Verdeen wide open. Rebound. And what a save by Anderson.
Hoist Lord Stanley's Cup.
Sebastian Aho in. Short hit back in. Scores! Oh, talk to me, Shorty. Carolina.
The Triangle's official home for the Carolina Hurricanes. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
It's not Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's Tuesday. Tuesday! The very first Tuesday.
New scratch-off tickets are available on the first Tuesday of every month.
Announcer said first Tuesday.
Brand new scratch-offs, brand new fun. Now from the North Carolina Education Lottery. Every first Tuesday. Must be 18 to play. Problem Gambling Helpline, 877-718-5543.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
A family office is a team built to handle the 3 biggest financial responsibilities a family faces: wealth management, tax strategy, and estate planning. Most firms only manage your investments and refer the rest out, hoping everyone stays aligned. At Trajan, we built something different. Your wealth, tax planning, and estate planning are handled together inside one firm under one roof. There's no guessing whether your CPA, advisor, and estate attorney are truly in sync, because our team works together every day on your behalf. When your financial life becomes more complex, your advice should become more coordinated, not more fragmented. One plan, one trusted team. Call Trajan today, 855-TRAJAN-1. That's 855-TRAJAN-1.
Trajan Wealth, an SEC-registered investment advisor. Additional services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures and accreditation at TrajanWealth.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. We have Corey in Raleigh. and Reggie in Sanford. And they are going to battle it out with numbers game trivia for $25 to Hardee's. Simple game. But first, we have to figure out who goes first. So we will bring Corey and then Reggie onto the air. We'll ask them the same question. Dennis will pick his favorite answer, and that person will get to go first. We'll start with Corey and Raleigh. Corey, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. It is Friday, which means we're staring at the weekend. What are you looking forward to most about the upcoming weekend? But because we are a sports show, make sure you keep it sports related.
Oh, definitely the NBA playoffs.
All right. Any follow-ups there, Dennis?
Any specific game?
I was really rooting for... no specific game. I love it all.
All right.
All right. NBA playoffs. We'll go to Reggie in Sanford. Reggie, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Same question to you. It is a Friday, which means we're looking right at this weekend upcoming. What are you looking forward to most about the weekend? But because we're a sports show, keep it sports related.
Actually, you took my answer, but I would say golf.
All right. The Cadillac Championship going on. I am also a golf nerd, so or playing golf. Actually, Are you talking about playing golf or watching golf?
Watching golf.
Okay. Dennis, those are your options. You have the NBA playoffs, just all of it.
Yep.
Or Reggie's going to be watching some golf.
Well, Reggie said that Corey actually had his answer. So I would say whenever you acknowledge the first person, that means that's the right answer. So I'm going to go Corey and Raleigh on this one.
All right, Corey will get to go first. Reggie, you will have your chance. Just have to stay on hold for a minute or two.
By the way, the correct answer we're looking for is Canes game 1.
Would have been a definite leader in the clubhouse. Would have been a 1 seed in the competition. Corey and Raleigh will get to go first, though. Reggie, just sit on hold. You'll have your chance. Corey, are you ready to pick a category?
Yes, sir.
All right. The categories are NFL, Carolina Panthers only. MLB, Cy Young Award winners since 2006. NBA players that are still playing in the playoffs. Or NHL, hurricanes throughout history.
Let's go with the first one, the NFL.
All right. NFL, players only from the Carolina Panthers throughout history. I will give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right. I will say the team in this category, even though we know it, just to keep it fair timing-wise with the other categories. Since you have no questions, we will go ahead and jump in. Your time will start when you hear the horn.
Okay.
Kerry Collins, Carolina Panthers.
8.
Incorrect. Edor Gross Matos, Carolina Panthers.
48.
Incorrect. Kerry Collins, Carolina Panthers.
13.
Incorrect. Etor Gross Matos, Carolina Panthers.
17.
Incorrect. Kerry Collins, Carolina Panthers.
What's Perry's number? 12.
I think he may have gotten that in. That was the correct answer.
I'm gonna go check the tape on this one real quick.
All right, so our judges are going to find out if you got it under the wire. You were right with Collins, by the way. 12 was the number. I like how you had to ask yourself the question before you could answer it correctly. Gross Matos, we were looking for 97 was the number. We are still awaiting the judge's call.
Upon video review.
12.
It's
in under the buzzer. In under the buzzer. That is a correct answer.
All right. So, Corey, you have avoided the shutout. You got at least one. So that'll be the lead in the clubhouse. Stay on the line. We'll see if it holds up. I almost told him, that's what I'm asking you. He was like, what was Kerry's number? It's like, yep, that's the whole game.
That's your job.
I can't answer that for you. Let's go to Reggie. Reggie, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. The categories remaining for you to choose from are Major League Baseball players that have won the Cy Young Award since 2006, NBA players that are still playing in the playoffs, or their teams are, hurricanes throughout history. That's an NHL category. That's your third option. Which would you like?
NBA players.
You said NBA?
Yeah.
All right. I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. 1 pass if you need it. Do you have any questions before we get started?
No.
All right. You need at least 2 for the victory, and your time will start when you hear the horn. Jason Tatum, Boston Celtics.
Jason Tatum, he's 1.
Incorrect. Paul George, Philadelphia 76ers.
He's 3.
Incorrect.
13.
Jason Tatum, Boston Celtics.
He's 15.
Incorrect. Paul George, Philadelphia 76ers.
13.
Incorrect. Jason Tatum, Boston Celtics.
2.
Incorrect. Paul George, Philadelphia 76ers.
He's
I got to be real, Reggie. You sound like you know, but you're maybe just they eluded you on the air. Jason Tatum 0. Paul George PG-13. That had been his number in other places. I get where you were coming from. But number 8 with the Sixers is what we were looking for. Unfortunately, 0, not enough for the win, but hopefully you had some fun.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, definitely. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much for playing. And that means Corey in Raleigh, you are the winner. Congratulations. You are getting the $25 to Hardee's, so congrats on that. Kerry Collins, right under the wire, enough to avoid the shutout and give yourself the win. So stay on the line, and Dennis will grab the info he needs to make sure you get your money.
Thank you.
All right. That's money to Hardee's, of course. $25 gifty. All right. It wasn't the prettiest on a Friday. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It wasn't the prettiest.
As Jackie in our YouTube live comment said, got to use that pass, brother.
Got
to use that pass.
We've talked strategy in the past. Throw a pass out there. Just basic. And by the way, pass doesn't mean you never go back to that name. Pass just means you get to hear another. Okay, so I have 5. I'm going to let everybody in on this strategy real quick. I have the 5 names in front of me in each category. But because we don't want to burn names with, like, if you're going to get 0 for 5, right, somebody has to make these lists. We don't want to use up all 5 names. So what I do is I read you the first 2, regardless, right? You get them right, you get them wrong, you're going to hear the first 2. For every one you get right, you get another option, right? So if you get 4 right, you're going to see the 5th, and it goes on and on like that. The pass lets you hear another name without having to get one right. So if you're going back and forth between 2 you're getting wrong a lot, if you hit the pass, you get to hear a third name. And to be honest with you, sometimes it's a name you know, it's a player you like, you get it right, and then the first 2 come to you. Because you it's like, a free throw for a shooter. You just see it go through the hoop. Now you're in rhythm. You're doing a little bit better. So the commenter on YouTube is absolutely correct. Use the pass. Use the pass. Use the pass. You don't get to take them with you. It's like a timeout at the end of the game, right? You don't get to put them in your pocket, bring them to the next game. Use the pass, unless you're cruising through them and you're going to get a perfect score or something like that. In which case, you don't need to listen to my strategy. You're just a trivia savant. But still. I like the attitude of both contestants today, even if the execution maybe wasn't as high as I was hoping. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Don't forget, everybody, it's about 20 more minutes of Puck being live. P-U-C-K is the key word. Text it to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win a pair of Carolina Hurricanes Round 2, Game 2 playoff tickets. The winner will be selected and notified on Monday, but you can't win if you don't play. You have 20 more minutes. This is your last chance to gain an entry. Text PUCK, P-U-C-K, to 919-860-5326, and you might have a pair of tickets. You can bring somebody. How about that? I mean, if it's really, there's 2 phone calls that are going to be really fun if you win. There's the phone call from us to you, from our promotions department to you, saying you won the tickets.
Oh, yeah.
And then there's the call you make to whoever you're going to bring. You get to be like the recipient and the gift giver.
That's true.
So text in PUCK to 919-860-5326, and you might get to experience both of those awesome phone calls. And that keyword will expire at 6 o'clock. So that's why I keep saying 20 more minutes. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. There's only one thing left to do on a Friday. We got to make our picks, and we'll do that coming up next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
All of my life, all I heard from Mets fans were, oh, you Yankees fans, all you do is buy championships. If we had as much money as you, we'd have 27 just like you guys. The New York Mets have the highest cash payroll of any team in baseball. $360 million this year.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Canes hockey is back, and there's nothing more refreshing than an ice-cold Surfside to enjoy while you cheer on your Canes on the ice. Surfside is only 100 calories, 2 grams of sugar, and 0 bubbles. That's right, no carbonation, so it's easy to sip and enjoy. It's not a seltzer, it's Surfside, official hard tea and lemonade of the Carolina Hurricanes. Sold in arena and at bars, restaurants, and stores near you. Must be 21. Please drink responsibly.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%, and most people are only making the minimum payment, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, it's Dennis Cox for Loan Pronto. But here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit cards, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. And here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone with zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at near 3-year lows. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. 919-381-1760, loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
TST is coming back.
The world's biggest 7v7 soccer festival is coming back to Wake Med Soccer Park in Cary, May 27th through June 1st. Watch stars like Landon Donovan, Hope Solo, and Chad Ochocinco compete for $3 million. With over 150 matches, the Fan Festival Zone, and nonstop action, there's nothing else like it. Get tickets now for the world's most electrifying soccer festival at tst7v7.com.
Facilities managers think inside the box with Eagle Leasing, formerly Containers for Less. Our ground level storage and office containers are the way to go. I'm Mike Eagle. Call 1-800-GET-EAGLE or go to eagleleasing.com. You see us everywhere. We're Eagle Leasing.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Happy Friday, everybody. I want to remind you of a few things. Tonight, right after this show, so 6 o'clock, NC State Baseball, Game 2 of a doubleheader will be right here on 99.9 The Fan. They're taking on the Miami Hurricanes. Game 2 is scheduled to start about 6. You can hear it right here on 99.9 The Fan. Tomorrow, Game 1, Round 2 for the Canes, right here on 99.9 The Fan. Playoff hockey. 8 o'clock puck drop, which means 7 o'clock storm watch. We have the extended storm watches in the postseason. Should be a really, really fun game. Really, really fun atmosphere if you're going to make it out there. If not, tune in right here to 99.9. And I'm doing my best to make sure there's no excuse for you not to have every single possible opportunity to win playoff tickets. We have a keyword that is live until 6 o'clock, and if you text it in to the number I'm about to give you, you will be entered to win a pair of Carolina Hurricanes Round 2, Game 2. So not tomorrow night's game, Game 2, playoff tickets. The keyword is puck, P-U-C-K, puck. If you text in just that keyword, you don't have to say anything else, to 919-860-5326. You will be entered. This is your last chance to gain an entry, and you need to text it in by 6. It expires. That keyword expires in 15 minutes. So, again, the keyword is puck, P-U-C-K, and the number to text it to is 919-860-5326. Doing my best to make sure you have every opportunity. All right, now that all of that is out of the way, and I'll probably remind you one more time before the end of the show.
Of course, I got someone calling in right now.
Calling in puck. Click.
They stopped. Okay, they hung up. I was actually going to answer them live on air.
Text the word, please. Text the keyword. Text. All right, now that that is established, we can get to the same thing we end every single week with, which is making our picks. Dennis, what do you got?
Let's actually go to the association first. I'm actually going to go right to your Philadelphia 76ers. Tomorrow night, it's Game 7. Who do you have? Celtics, by the way, at home, favored by 7.5.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of logic that would say the Celtics are that would explain why they're the favorite. They're at home. But you know what they don't have?
What's up?
Joel Embiid. You know what else they don't have? Tyrese Maxey. You know what else they don't have? They don't have a chance. Sixers all the way, baby.
Oh, okay. Just money line, take the whole thing?
Darn right.
Actually, let me actually see what the actual...
Pick them to win the East.
Just the whole East.
Pick them to win the East. And then I'll see who they're playing in the West, but pick them to win the whole thing. Backs against the wall. Celtics could have ended it last night, but they couldn't. Why? Because they're not the Sixers. All of the positive energy in Philadelphia right now is going to the Sixers because it ain't going to the Flyers.
Got more people trying to call in right now. Should I just answer them live on air?
No, don't do it to them.
Okay.
Text in the keyword if you want the chance. Text. The keyword is puck. The number is 919-860-5326. Don't call. All right.
All right, some games tonight. These are all Game 6s. Orlando leads Detroit 3-2. By the way, the number 1 seeded Detroit Pistons have to win tonight. They're on the road in Orlando, but the Pistons are favored by 3.5.
Yeah, I think Orlando wins.
Really?
I think Orlando knows if they don't win this, it's a rap-ski, right? Because you get the better team at home in a Game 7, that's more likely to lean Pistons. So this is like their caged animal game. This is their smoke 'em if you got 'em, no ammunition saved game. I think Orlando finds a way to win it, which will be an upset, but they're the leader right now, right? They're 3-2. I think Orlando can make it happen.
By the way, Orlando won the first game in Orlando, Game 3, 113-105, and then won Game 4 at home, 94-88.
And also, Hornets fans out there, if Orlando goes on to win it all, you can say, well, we would have been in like the conference finals if we didn't run into the best team in a play-in game when they beat us by 30.
Yeah.
So, I guess you're kind of weirdly rooting for Orlando.
Okay, we have Cavs at Raptors. Cleveland leads this series 3-2. Cleveland on the road 4.5 point favorites on the road in Toronto.
Yeah, I think Cleveland wins it. I think Cleveland is pretty darn good. Although I have heard some people already talking about who's going to be scapegoated by Cleveland.
James Harden.
No, I'm actually hearing some Jared Allen might be a good move for the Hornets because he's going to be scapegoated by Cleveland. So
there you go.
So and the Hornets need a big. So I guess I'll try to manifest that. Give me the Raptors to win. Because then everyone's going to get mad at the Cavs and eventually make it available so the Hornets can get better.
Lakers on the road at the Rockets. Houston at home, even though they're down 3-2 in the series. Houston at home, 3.5 point favorites tonight.
Lakers win. LeBron smells blood in the water. He might not be as good as he once was, but he's as good once as he ever was. I think it's a 30-point. I'm talking LeBron Sr. A 30-point LeBron Sr. game, and he closes out Houston. And I do believe Kevin Durant is not playing. So you don't have like dueling best players from 2011 out there. It's
the 08 All-Stars.
Yeah. It's I just think I want another series of LeBron trying to put the cape on for the Lakers. So I think they get it done.
All right, let's go to the ice. 3 Game 6s tonight as well. We have the Tampa Bay Lightning on the road at the Montreal Canadiens. The Canadiens lead this series 3-2. Tampa on the road on the money line, a -120. Montreal at home, even money, +100.
I think I saw this stat that this entire series has been more than a 1-goal game for like 5 minutes.
Something like that, yeah.
So it's been back and forth, and I think it's going to continue. Give me Montreal at home to force Game 7.
Montreal's leading 3-2.
Tampa on the road to force Game 7.
Yes. Okay.
And also, actually no, because they're both very good. I was going to say, like, who do the Canes want to see if they match up at that level? They're both very good. I don't think there's an obvious.
All right, Buffalo at Boston. Boston trails in this series 3-2. They're a home dog, plus 102 on the money line. I know you love a good home dog.
Plus 102. We're just there, barely there, but I do love a home dog.
Yeah.
And I love game 7s, and I love home dogs. Give me Boston.
Okay, well, I think I know where you're going to go on this one.
We have another home dog?
The Vegas Golden Knights at the Utah Mammoth. Utah trails in this series 3-2, so they have to win. Utah minus 105 on the money line, but Vegas minus 115 on the money line. So home dog in the Mammoth.
Yeah, you know what? Give me the home dog. Give me the Mammoth. Also because I want it to be, just because it's a cool stat, that the Canes have won a postseason series for 1 billion years in a row, and nobody else has won a postseason series for 2 years in a row. And for that to happen, Vegas has to lose. So Mammoth to win Game 6 and Mammoth to win Game 7.
Love it. Love it. All right, let's go to tomorrow's action in the National Hockey League. There's only one game scheduled. There's only one game that matters tomorrow in the NHL. It's the Carolina Hurricanes at home against the Philadelphia Flyers. The Carolina Hurricanes on the money line for this game, minus 218.
Wow.
Minus 218. They're talking about putting a whooping on those Flyers.
This is another one of those where, like, you see why.
Yeah.
Like, that's a big number, and it kind of jumps out at you, but then the more you think about it, you go, like, I kind of get it. If I'm Philly, I feel disrespected by it, but when you're, darn near every statistical category, Carolina's better, and many of them significantly better. Am I picking on the money line here?
Yeah, you can.
Canes. Give me the Canes on the money line. 4-1. 4-1. Obviously,
you're going 4-1?
4-1.
4-1.
I think the Canes are rested. If you would have told me, like, and by the way, I'm operating under the assumption that Alexander Nikishin is playing and he's good to go, and Nikolai Ehlers is playing and he's good to go. I didn't think we had to announce this earlier, but I know it was at least discussed by Rod Brindamore. Freddie Anderson will be in net. No duh, but Freddie Anderson will be in net. He's been playing well. Phillies had 3 days after a pretty exhausting little closeout to the series against Pittsburgh. Not just the overtime game, but they were up 3-0 and it went 6. That's pretty tiring when you're the team just trying to get that one last win. So, I think the Canes, if they come out with the proper attitude, right? They come out with like, not who wants to set the tone, but everybody's setting the tone.
Yeah.
If they come out with the proper attitude, I think they can kind of jump over Philly and make game one a nice one.
By the way, the puck line is minus 1.5 goals. Carolina minus 1.5 is a plus 124. I feel good about that.
I was going to say I like that.
I feel good about that. By the way, are the betting apps actually tipping their hand on the future schedule of the second round here, Tim?
Did you notice something?
Yeah. So on a certain betting app, taking a look at right here, the first game between the Minnesota Wild and the Colorado Avalanche, they have it listed as Monday, May 4th. Even though we haven't seen anything official from the NHL, nothing on the NHL's website. I looked it up right now. Nothing I'm seeing on ESPN about any game on Monday.
Would they?
But the betting app has it as a 10-10 puck drop on Monday night between Minnesota and Colorado. Calling it right now. Vegas knows things.
Interesting. Would they run it through the sports books before going public?
They might. I don't know. But the fact that there's betting lines and all that stuff right now on that game. They have it listed Monday at 10 p.m.
And the betting lines, they would take into account how many days between games,
yes.
And they'd want it for, like, I'm sure there's historical numbers on the more rest time, either the more or less goals. I'm sure the sports books all want to know that. So maybe they are kept in the loop by the league. I don't know.
Look at that. See, we're on this thing.
Sleuthing.
We are on this thing.
Some sleuthing being done here on a Friday.
I'll give you a couple prop picks here.
All right.
For the Carolina Hurricanes. Shots on goal for Nikolai Ehlers tomorrow. 3.5 over under. 3.5 shots on goal for Nikolai Ehlers.
I think that's a good number. I think that's a very good number. I'll take the under.
Take the under on Ehlers.
I think he'll be maybe the only one that eases himself into it, because he missed game 4 and he had the long break. I think there'll be some kind of, feeling it out before he gets super aggressive. So I'll take 3. But that is a good number. I think that's right around where he'll be.
Okay, real quick. Andrei Svechnikov, over under 3.5 shots on goal.
Over. Game 1 of last series, I think he had 7.
Yeah.
So he comes out firing.
Equal number of hits as well. And then Logan Stankoven, over under 2.5 shots on goal.
Over.
All right.
I mean, he's scoring a goal per game. You don't do that without shooting. Bet the streak. Everybody else out there, if you want to see Game 2, Game 1 is tomorrow. If you want to see Game 2, text PUCK, P-U-C-K, to 919-860-5326. You have 3.5 minutes to do so. That expires at 6. So the keyword is PUCK. Text it to 919-860-5326, and you will gain an entry to potentially win a pair of tickets to Canes Flyers Round 2, Game 2. Make it happen. It's going to do it for us here on The Drive. There's a baseball game. NC State, Miami coming up next. Enjoy the weekend. Can't wait to break it down with you on Monday. Until then, have a great weekend, everybody.
Hey, it's Adam Gold, and after every Hurricanes game, thanks to my friends at the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, we give you the Canes Corner podcast. In-depth analysis on what happened, why it happened, what's going to happen next, which players are those to look out for, and as we get deep into the playoffs, how can Carolina best position themselves to win a Stanley Cup? Canes Corner podcast, brought to you by the Aluminum Company of North Carolina, live on YouTube, and of course available wherever you get your podcasts.
This is the sound of Claire, cooking dinner at home. And that's the sound of a fraud alert from Wells Fargo, flagging a charge for a pricey restaurant in Paris. Considering Claire isn't in Paris right now, that seemed odd. To the bank and to Claire. 2 taps later, Claire says nope to the charge, and Wells Fargo is on the case. However you make money work, Wells Fargo can work with that.
Wells Fargo Bank, N.A., member FDIC.
Calling all Caniacs, come watch the playoffs at Carolina Ale House as the official Canes road game headquarters. Carolina Ale House is hosting viewing parties for the Hurricanes away games. Join us for indoor-outdoor viewing parties at our Cary location throughout the playoffs. Think of it as a hometown tailgate. You just bring a lawn chair, enjoy food and beers from the outdoor bar, and watch on our enormous TV. Visit CarolinaAlehouse.com/Canes to learn more, or keep an eye on our social media. Ale yeah, and go Canes!
Hey John, why so glum? I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu, an Elite CompTIA certification partner. Financial aid is available to those who qualify, including VA benefits.
At quarterback, calling the right play could change the whole game. And when your car breaks down, same idea. Make the right call before the big repair bill hits. CarShield helps protect you from expensive auto repairs. Plans include 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, and rental car options, all to keep your drive alive. Look, breakdowns happen, but choosing CarShield, that's the easiest call you'll make all day.
Visit carshield.com now and join the team that's helped millions of drivers save. Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at carshield.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, injury lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
That's ritchielaw.com.
They score! Broadcasting live from the Eagle Leasing Studio. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Ed Bank, and we start with the NBA and 3 teams trying to stay alive while 3 others are looking to advance tonight. First, the Pistons and the Magic. Orlando's up in the series 3-2. Magic coach Jamal Mosley says he knows his team needs to take care of business at home since they have an opportunity tonight to close out the series.
With a sense of taking care of home, with the way that we know how we play at home in front of our fans, with that energy and that excitement in that building. But we've got to make sure we're doing the smart version of it.
Also tonight, the Cavaliers and the Raptors in Toronto. Cleveland up 3-2. And it'll be the Lakers and Rockets later tonight. LA still leading that series 3-2. Also 3 games in the Stanley Cup playoff schedule. Also 3-2 series. Coming up in about an hour on ESPN2, the Lightning and Canadiens, Montreal looking to close that series out. 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. The Sabres and the Bruins with Buffalo up 3-2, and that'll be followed on ESPN by the Golden Knights and Mammoth. Vegas up in that series 3-2. In baseball, the Brewers have placed pitcher Brandon Woodruff on the 15-day injured list. Orioles closer Ryan Helsley also placed on the 15-day IL with tight elbow inflammation.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Commercial Insurance flexes to fit your business's needs. From quick repairs to adjustable coverages and even payment options, Progressive Commercial makes it easy to get what you need. Quote today in as little as 8 minutes at progressivecommercial.com.
From Studio 2 at the worldwide headquarters of ESPN, this is Freddie and Harry.
So for you can sleep in your own bed, hang out with the missus and the kids.
Damn it, Freddie, I'm going to get right into it. I told my wife she better have them kids in bed by a certain time. Hey, yo! Okay. It's Love Friday. It's me and her tonight. It's Love Friday. When I get that feeling, had them babies
Love
in that
Friday.
bed by a certain time.
Why did I open that door?
Pause, my brother. I'm at home. It's Love Friday. Put them chillin' in the bed by a certain time and come on to daddy mama. I got this 5-hour energy, baby. It's time to rock and roll.
This is Freddie and Harry.
Taking you up until 7 o'clock Eastern coverage. NBA on ESPN Radio. No, excuse me. But we do have... It's not on air tonight, right, Shannon? Did I mix it up with tomorrow night? Pistons Magic tonight? I don't want to misinform.
Pistons Magic tonight. Coverage starts at 6:30 Eastern right here on
It is on our
radio.
I was right.
Yeah,
okay.
Then tomorrow night we got Game 7 of the Sixers and the Celtics because the loser, or I should say the winner of that game will actually be the loser when they have to face my New York Knicks in the second round.
All right, take it easy. Oh. I mean, my God. You guys are you're trading Karl Anthony Towns after Game 2. It was just a few days ago. He's Randy Scott. I'm Jonathan Zaslow. Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio. So there you go. Tonight, the game does tip at 7 p.m. Eastern. Pistons and Magic, the first of 3 games tonight. 3 Game 6s tonight. Last night, you had 3 Game 6s as well. Only one of them gets you a Game 7. It's Boston and Philly, which you heard Shannon there mention tomorrow night right here on our air. But the Knicks last night. Let's start there. Let's bring aboard Frank Isola, Sirius XM NBA Radio, weekday morning, 7A to 10A Eastern Time, the starting lineup with Brian Scalabrine. Frank, thanks for joining us here.